Welcome to the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast.
If you like a lot of wrestling on your YouTube, join our cult. Hello and welcome to the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast. And you know they say that all podcasts are created equal. They look at podcasts also done with Mr. Adam Pacitti. You can say that statement is not true. See, normally if you go one-on-one with another podcaster, you have a 50-50 chance of it going 2 hours. But he's a genetic freak, and he was in Bugsy Malone as a small child. So you got a 50-50 chance of it going 2 hours, 25 at best. I've missed the line. 25% at best at going 2 hours. I've already messed it up.
It was
Jack the Job at the mix. I know, it so was. The chance of drastic going down, something, 33 hours and 33 and a half minutes. These podcasts go long. Here's Adam Pacitti. Here's Jack the Jobber. They're both of
You're right.
the same. Christ.
They're both of what? Legal age? What were you saying?
Both the same level of goodness is what I was going for. But then you went, hello.
That's the best. Nice. That's the nicest thing you've ever said about me.
Yes, that's sadly true, isn't it? So we'll start off with you, Jack. How the hell are you?
Been a bit of a hectic day. Outside the back of mine and Owen's flat, there are 2 police cars and a police van. And a strong smell of weed as well. So much so that, like, our hallway now smells of weed. And I only have my window open a little bit. So I think they may have busted some kind of farm around the back of there or something. Don't know.
Have you gone to investigate?
Before I was getting set up for this, I just had a look out the back and 2 cars and a van. Parked up neatly, not like all haphazardly as if they just raced onto the scene. But I couldn't see anyone. Any policemen or women, of course. I've started off the podcast terribly there. Just sexism immediately.
Police officers,
Couldn't see any officers. Couldn't see any officers there. Couldn't see anybody in handcuffs or getting talked to. Just deserted. So I don't know what's going on.
I watched a thing the other day, like a crime documentary, where they were. It was a missing person in this case, and they had the helicopter out. And apparently, as they're going over the houses, if they see a roof giving off lots of heat, where they think that like the lamps to help grow the weed are. They just make a note of it, and then they send someone round later, and they can get like 5 or 6 just hovering over, looking for people. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Could just be an orgy.
Could just be a very hot orgy.
Yeah. I feel like they might have, because the signs were there a little bit. Like sometimes if I'm staying up late to watch a pay-per-view or something, and I'm sat in my room, sometimes a car will turn up at all hours of the night. Which I thought at first was just because I live in a bit of a student-y area and it's just students partying away. But since lockdown, it's continued and it's not, there's no music or anything, just cars pull up, a few little voices, then they'll leave. And also, there's often a strong smell of weed. But again, I just put that down to living in a student-y area. I don't know.
That's disgraceful. So they're not just dealing Class B drugs, but they're also not adhering to the social distancing rules. I hope they go down for 10 to 15 years for that. That's a disgrace.
In between segments, when like we have a little toilet break or whatever, I'm going to go and have a little update. I'm going to look out the window again and see what's going down. But
nice. So
how
stay
are you,
tuned.
Adam?
Yeah, I'm all right. I've got nothing to update. I'm doing a stream at 6 today. That's already happened by the time this is out. I'm all right. Yeah, I'm fine. Grand. Got a turtleneck. I've run out of laundry, right? So I'm dressed like Art Garfunkel or Steve Jobs at the moment. But just
Steve Jobs, I can see.
Thank you very much. Apparently he was a wanker.
Oh,
yeah. But I've just run out. So I'm just getting through the clothes that I've got left, which is why I look like this. Speaking of looking beautiful, Maffew, I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you, Adam.
You're welcome. And Jack, you look nice too. But Maffew, look at that shirt.
Thank you. And I was about to say, I thought you were doing in the spirit of Halloween. You were being that one dude with the pumpkin head and doing the dance on YouTube.
This is Halloween. I know the one that you mean. Yeah.
He does look like
thank
that,
you, Jack. Yes,
yeah.
Of course, Jack knows all the moves. He's the coolest guy here. Yes, thank you. I went shopping for new clothes because I've not done that this year. Because why would you need to? I'm not going anywhere. But I thought I'd dress up nice for the people at Lidl, if nothing else, just to get myself in that mental good place. I thought, and also I had not a funny haha running, but also something with the police yesterday. I was coming back. No. I was coming back from Morrison's and with my shopping for the week, and I realised, oh Christ, I've mistimed this. It's when all the kids come out of the school, so I'm like, so having to avoid them, like I'm doing bloody Crash Bandicoot, trying to avoid everything. But then a huge pile of them came around the corner. I'm like, oh bloody hell! You don't feel real good when you're a man and you're like, oh, I have to avoid basically being harassed to move over the road on the overpath by a bunch of kids. You're like
Peep Show when he's looking through the door.
Yeah, pretty much. You're like, oh, this is my life now. But then I realised why there was so many of them together come round. There was a big old fight happening. So I'm there like, I'll just cross the road, and you go, oh, let me look at this. But there's other parents like taking the kids from school, so you don't want to be like go on, get them. But you're like, oh no, look at this disgraceful behaviour. And they were throwing bombs at each other. It was fantastic. I was like, oh, get in. And then 2 seconds later, a police car pulled up and stopped them.
Oh, killjoys. I love a fight.
Right,
love
but of
watching
course,
fights.
a police car pulls up, and all the kids who've been watching it see the police car and go, and instinctively all run away from the police. Like the police was going to arrest 30 kids, put them in the back of the car for watching a fight. And then carried on, and there's all these parents going, hey, it's shocking that. And I'm like, with my bags of shopping.
Any botches or?
No, it was all great, all five stars. But I realised, though, with 30 kids watching this one fight and me and the other people there, by default, that was probably one of the most attended fights to happen in the UK this year. In wrestling or boxing or anything. So, part of history. And I think that is all of us summarised, isn't it? We've all talked about our exciting weeks. We all sound like human beings, if not all of us resemble them. So let's go on straight to the news. Tino Sabatelli is re-signed with NXT. Yeah, exactly. That was a reaction when I told people as well. And also, Ben Carter is alleged to have signed with WWE, according to Rusev, who said this.
He said
on
he
his,
got away from AEW or something.
Got away.
Yeah, something like that. But apparently Ben Carter had liked a few tweets insinuating that he has indeed signed with WWE. I think it's a great get. I couldn't care less about Tino Sabatelli, but good for Ben. Good for Ben.
Yeah,
Well,
and it was,
is it NXT UK?
Who?
I don't know, because there isn't NXT Jersey yet. So
No.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I hope not. I'd quite like to watch him.
I heard that it was I heard that it was NXT UK because apparently he was wrestling for free for AEW because he didn't have his residency, his place of residence was like dodgy, or he had visa issues, something along those lines, which is why he may have signed for NXT UK because he's getting paid for it then because he's from the UK. So I don't know. Don't really know what's going on, but I think
anyway.
The stories I've read were NXT UK, but yeah.
Ooh. Well, good for him. WWE venues Full Sail University, the WWE Performance Center, and the Amway Center on the list of businesses being investigated as potential COVID hotspots.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, me too.
I am shocked.
Who saw this coming? WWE stressed that no, these places are not open to the public, and there's only been 3 outbreaks since everything started using them, so it could be worse.
That's not 3 cases, that's 3 outbreaks.
Yeah, 3 outbreaks cases. So
just the 3.
It did affect Retribution, but then sadly they got better and back on TV this week. And let's have a look. There's not been much. That was a bit harsh there, wasn't it? I apologise. That was funnier in my head, like a lot of things I say in this podcast. There's not been much else news that won't be covered later on. So I'll say end on the good bit of news, the biggest bit of news this week. I'm sure you all agree. They found, don't know who they were, but someone found the little person from SummerSlam 92. It goes, the British Bulldog's gonna win, whether he wants to or not. And they confirmed that is in fact a lass. Yeah. For years it was speculated because it was so gender ambiguous. It was like, and
wait,
had it been speculated? I just thought it was a little boy.
When I say speculate, it's like, can anyone tell? It was like, no one's like, yeah, it's a little lass. And they've commented because they did. I wish I remember the figure. I'll send the next segment when I have a look on Google or whatever. But there was somebody who did a little mock-up action figure.
Oh, I saw that. Kid. It's really cool, isn't it?
And the person saw it. I was like, oh yeah, that's me. Like, oh my god, really? Like, and Drew McIntyre is the example of people who were really excited about this news, because I'm sure not everyone in the UK is going to care, but SummerSlam 92's got a special place in our hearts. So yeah, Drew McIntyre was one of the people going, they found the kid. That's awesome. So yeah,
is she still a wrestling fan?
I can't remember. I'll have to give all the links and stuff when I check this out. I just want to share that memory.
Oh, it's really nice, yeah.
And that was the news this week. No, really, it was.
Everybody get excited for the Cultaholic Hall of Fame.
Now it's time for the favourite bit of the segment, the Hall of Fame. Best bit of the segment, I said there. Best bit of the podcast, bloody hell.
Favourite bit of the segment.
The Hall of Fame, in condescending order from last week. In third place, dirty, meaty, beefy breakfast pie, 25%.
Yeah, good. Good.
Shocking that. Second place, the bloke from Jack's Corner Shop.
Good. He's done well. He's done all right there.
Surprising. I prefer the pie.
I'd prefer a flan.
But first, by a clear margin, is, of course, online bingo.
There you go. People love online bingo. They love it.
Presented by someone who does online bingo, has hosted it, has raided people's chats on Twitch with it, and a Pacitti. Well done, Bob.
It's a very popular sport right now, and I'm very much at the forefront of that sport.
Esports team. Online bingo.
It's all. I've got a strategy with it. Because there's a chat room. Everybody thinks, it's just luck. It's not, because there's a chat room, and if you intimidate the people enough, they'll leave, which increases your chances. It doesn't.
So cyberbullying is your strat.
Big time. I haven't been intimidating old ladies before I get angry tweets.
Get out of this room, Barbara. Get your grandchild to close the tab for you. This is not your life.
I've just been reporting them for gambling too much, so they have their account suspended. It's easier that way.
Did you do like bingo insults? Do you go like, hey, look, one fat lady, Barbara?
Have you seen the music video for Sophie Ellis-Bextor's Murder on the Dance Floor?
Yeah.
Where her and her partner cheat to like beat all the other couples in the dancing competition.
By murdering some of them, right? Don't they slip them up on that? Hurt them?
Yeah, hurt them, certainly. I don't know if there's murder involved. But there's murder on the dance floor. Yeah. It's like that, isn't it? You're kind of bumping off all of the other contestants in the bingo.
Well, this is my house now. My full house now.
You're the head of the table.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really, really fun, but they do take it very, very seriously. I've been learning some of the acronyms lately. Some are really like 3TG means you got 3 to go, and then they paste their numbers in. Like that's going to increase their chances of winning. I can't remember if I mentioned, but we got banned from the last one. I was streaming on I think it was Betfair Bingo, and the CM, the chat moderator, which I'm going to apply for, by the way. I want to do it. you know you can be in the Northeast and do it for Tombola, and that as a little evening job on a Saturday night, just sit interacting with all the old biddies. That sounds great. I've always wanted to be a bingo caller. Anyway, so we got banned. We were on Betfair, and CM Riley was fed up of all the people just saying, I can't really remember this because I was so drunk, but they were going get the cat excited, and I think somebody signed in with the name Harold Shipman or something, and she went and she went be right back, just got something to sort. And then she came back and she banned us all. So I guess she was talking to her superiors to say, can I ban this collective of people who are upsetting everybody else? And I was typing in caps, and she was going, no, only I'm allowed to type in caps. She got really angry with me.
Nice.
So anyway, I'm gonna do another one the week after Hell in a Cell. I think is the plan to do some more bingo.
Fantastic. I've got a bingo joke. I'll say this. I'll let Jack say something in case I forget this. How'd you make 100 old biddy? Let's wait for him. He's got to hear this joke.
Yeah, don't tell the joke yet. I'm back. Go.
How do you make a room full of old women shout bollocks? Yell bingo. What were you saying, Jack?
Well, if we hadn't been talking about bingo already, then it would have worked.
That's not
better.
the joke. That's not the joke, is it?
Yeah.
Is that the joke? I'm sure there's a ruder version. I thought you were self-censoring there.
Yes, I was. I mean, it's
not just the word. I thought it was
anyway.
Sorry. So do I get to go first?
Well, I was going to just say you in the chat in these bingo. You know when you're having a quiet, nice. There's a nice vibe in the local on a Friday night. Everyone's having a nice time, and then a stag party come in. That's you in the chat. That's what you are doing to these nice bingo folk.
Well, maybe there should be some criteria for entry. Maybe you should have to, I don't know, answer a quiz about Coronation Street or something to prove that you are of the bingo ilk.
Okay.
But until they institute such measures, I'm not going to have people have a go at me for coming in and have a bit of fun. And I'll continue to upset these old people each and every week on stream and monetize the hell out of it. So bring it on, you old bitches. You want some? Come get some.
What is happening?
I don't know.
What's your Hall of Fame pick?
My pick this week is a band that I love. So, right, basically, somebody from school added me to Facebook this week, and they'd seen the videos and knew what I was doing now. And within 3 sentences, like, oh, hey, how's it going? And then the next thing they said was, oh, do you still like Travis, lol? That was one of the first things they said, because I was a big Travis fan. I'm still a big Travis fan. And I just thought, why have you added me to ask that? And it wasn't like a jokey little thing. It was them just trying to sort of get one over on me. It's like, oh, you've added me here, dickhead. I don't want to talk to you. And so I'm picking Travis, because nobody should be ashamed of things that they enjoy, unless it's diddling or something horrible, but just a band that makes people happy. And I've been ridiculed my whole life for the things that I enjoy, and I'm totally past it now. I don't care anymore. I like Travis. I like all that wanky middle class, middle of the road bollocks. I like playing online bingo. I like crime documentaries, and I like pro wrestling. But Travis, I remember drawing the Travis logo on a folder on my geography folder. Yeah, it's like what's the font called? It's like, it's that famous trendy font that everyone knows and loves. I can't remember that. That's the one.
Sans.
And I used to get picked on all the time. And then I was listening to Travis earlier today. You know what? Oh, bloody hell! I was listening to Travis and I forgot about this. I think I'd seen it before, but I was watching Travis Tea in the Park, and bloody Susie Kennedy's there front row.
Really?
Singing along to Magnificent Time it was. She didn't know any of the moves, but she was having fun. And that's what Travis is all about, which is why I'm picking... My original pick was going to be that Marcus Rashford, because he's done great stuff, and we donated enough funds for 1,000 meals. Cultaholic and Triple Jump donated enough funds for that yesterday, but I thought that's too pandery, isn't it? I'm not going to do that. So bollocks to it. The singers of Turn and Driftwood and Sing and Side and Why Does It Always Rain on Me get my nomination this week. And you know what? It's not going to win. But if you go back and listen to Travis, you'll see that I'm right and Susie Kennedy's wrong.
Found the logo.
She was having fun. It's a great and nice logo, isn't it? What's that bloody font? No, that's...
Just I googled Travis logo and that man came up.
You talk about yourself. I'll figure it out. It's that really famous trendy font that all the hipsters like.
Okay. Cool.
Come on, you're up.
Me?
Yeah. Well,
I'm going to win this. I'm going to win this week, so it's really good. I can't believe this. I was chatting to my mate the other day, and he told me a story from when we were about 20, but I wasn't there. So I never knew this happened, and he told me, and I could not believe what a story it was. So my nomination this week is my mate's story, and now I'm going to tell the story. So when we were about 20, he'd been to a party in Newcastle. He was going back to uni in Leeds the next day. So he's driving from Newcastle to Leeds. It's about, a 2-3 hour car journey? Not massively long. He's not driving. He's in the car with his mate John, who I don't really know, but John's a bit more of a bolshy lad. He's a bit more of a bit of a troublemaker, right? They're driving along, and at Durham Services, right, I don't know anyone who's actually picked up a hitchhiker. Well, I do now because of this story, right? There's this bloke stood at the side of the road with Sheffield written on a sign. And I think my mates had just must have been feeling a bit bored or just mad or something, but they were like, this John fella was like to my mate, let's pick him up, come on, let's do it. So they pick up this bloke and they're like, we can take you as far as Leeds, we can't get you to Sheffield, we can get you to Leeds. And he's like, yeah, sound. And he's a big guy apparently, gets in the car, and he's got this huge zip-up black bag with him, and when he puts it down, wedges it in, it's like heavy as well, and they're like, what the hell's in that bag? Driving down the road, and at one stage, just trying to be friendly, my mate goes, what's in the bag, mate? And the guy goes, F all to do with you. And I'm like, when he's telling me the story, I'm like, what? And I said, is that serious? He went, that's what he said to me, yeah. So then, awkward silence for about 10 minutes, and then John, being a bit more, brave, I suppose, than my friend, goes like, come on, like seriously, what's in the bag? And he goes, I told your mate already, it's F all to do with you. Now they're both terrified. They're like, who's this bloke? What's in his bag and what's going on? So they pull over at the next services and they go, right, we're just going inside to get to go to the toilet or get some water or something. Why don't you come with us? Just leave your bag in the back, that's fine. And he's like, yeah, sound. And they all go in, and as they're walking in, they realise he's a big guy as well. He's like quite a intimidating bloke. I think he must have been older as well, because we were only about 20 around this sort of time. They go in. I can't remember which way it was. Like either he goes to the toilet and they go to the shop, or the other way round. And when that happens, John grabs my mate and goes, "We're off. Come on, let's go." And they run back to the car, speed off, realise that his bag's still in the back. And then they just went. That was it.
What's in the bag?
What? F all to do with you. Oh! He's done him! He's absolutely done him! Yes!
Oh,
Get
really
in!
Really
Come
good.
on! Oh, I was
Beautiful
terrified. I
delivery.
was
It
so
was so
scared.
good.
I was so scared that it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, that's a nice story,
mate.
Jack. Maffew, what's yours?
I've been bragging to people all week. I'm going to trick them with this. I'm going to trick them.
He's done it. That was
Mate,
beautifully executed.
I've been counting down the days to the podcast like Christmas.
Flawless.
Golf clap.
I have to cite where that comes from. It's obviously not a real story. It's all for that joke at the end. It's from, I was watching a football podcast called Under the Cosh, and it was an interview with Matty Kilgallen, who used to play for Sunderland briefly. That's where I've got it from. So I've nicked it. It's not my own, but
It's great.
the relief that's, because I thought with you two as well, especially you, Adam, that you'd be like jumping in going like, this is ridiculous. What's he doing? Like just
Why?
trying to
I don't interrupt
pick holes
stories.
in it.
I wouldn't
fair enough. Oh, the adrenaline's coursing through my soul.
Well, there's
tell,
the
man.
winner. There's the winner.
That was like when Foley. That was when Foley tricked The Rock. He went, the Foley. It doesn't matter what you name. Foley. That was what that was. He could wake up. Owen, guess what I did in the podcast?
Yeah, Owen, I've been telling him all week that I can't wait for this. That's going to be amazing.
I'm very happy. No, that was well worth delivery. Thank you very much, mate.
Thanks.
During a weekly game at the Home for the Aged, the bingo caller began choking and then collapsed. He was rushed to emergency and began immediate into surgery. It appeared that 40 years of calling bingo games in smoky halls had finally caught up with him. The surgeon successfully removed the mass that was blocking his windpipe. After waking from the surgery, the caller asked the surgeon if the mass was malignant. The surgeon replied, unfortunately, no, it was benign. That was courtesy of the 59 best bingo jokes. And I'm going to leave that alone and never touch that subject ever again. My pick is based on something that I said.
Was that going to be your pick? Was that going to be your pick?
No.
Oh, right,
he said that was
right.
a crap bingo joke. So I went and typed. The first result was the 59 best bingo jokes. I was like, oh, get in. And that was number one. So my pick this week comes something I sent Jack, because something that comes wrong on Facebook sometimes, because Facebook is basically hell, but sometimes something comes up and creates a nice diversion from the other hell bits of life that we're all going through right now. And it was best dessert as voted by Brits. Doesn't say who it was that voted for it all, apparently it was Jack and Beyond. So there's the Beyond and there's Jack, I guess. So the God tier of this public thing that I was not asked for, and I'm sure you people weren't asked for, is sticky toffee pudding, profiteroles, red velvet. I like it. A lot of people, my friends, just go, it's just red dye, mate. Just cake with red dye. But I go, no, red velvet tonight. The red makes it taste nicer.
It does.
And tiramisu. Ooh. I have got no objection to those. I would definitely put them at the God tier of any dessert list, especially in a Brit list, remember. But I would like to put a defence in. This is my pick for this week. So maybe get some little debate, as we like on this show. In good tier, because it's God tier, top tier, then good tier, cheesecake.
Delicious.
Love it. Love cheesecake.
That should have the cheesecake tier and be above the God tier.
Yeah.
It's so versatile. Thank you, Jack.
So many varieties.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm just not going to stand for this, even though I know it's Facebook, it's supposed to get you talking about stuff and then go, ding, I should have a dessert, and then that's how it works, but I don't care. Some of these things I like doing. Cheesecake is absolutely the best dessert you can have in UK. There are other great ones. There's no real wrong answer, but if we absolutely positively had to make a list with them 1 to 10, I'd put cheesecake at the top.
Right.
And that's it.
Now, you did send me this.
Yeah.
And I said to you, why does everyone hate Christmas pudding? Because Christmas pudding was really low down. And I'm not... And whenever I've been to like a works Christmas do or whatever, and there's always that thing, like, what do you want for dessert at the place? You can have Christmas pudding or like the normal dessert. And everyone always goes, "Oh, Christmas! I'll have the other one." I always have the Christmas pudding. I don't understand the issue. Do you
It's
guys
delicious.
Yeah,
and you only get it once a year as well, so why not?
Exactly.
Christmas pudding with a bit of brandy butter. Oh,
magic.
So good. Out of interest, Maffew, one of my favourite desserts is a trifle. Where does trifle appear on this tier list of yours?
It is not
I like
actually
the wet
technically there.
sponge.
There is a treacle tart, which is low tier. It's so
Yeah, I
sorry,
think
that's
that's
as good as you're
fair
going to
enough.
get. The worst tier, fruit cake,
Yeah, that's fair.
I've been called
Dry,
worse.
horrible.
angel cake,
What's
Oh,
angel cake?
what's wrong with that?
like the different color ones, like cake, yellow, pink.
Cake, yellow, pink.
It's kind of
My three favourite colours.
what color is that? Just whatever. Oh no, I'm making myself again, aren't I? Light brown, we'll say, but
I get what you mean. Like a sponge, like the
Yeah.
same, the inside of a Victoria sponge.
sure.
Cake
What does it matter
colour.
now? Yeah.
Red
Well, some of
and
my parents
yellow
say,
and
no,
cake
really,
and green."
what? My parents go, so no, really, what do you do, a Cultaholic? And I tell them, and they still don't believe me. And mince pie, the Christmas ones, and then Christmas pudding. And I think it's because Christmas
mince
pudding.
pie's so good.
It's fine.
I'm not a fan of mince pies, but the Christmas pudding, I think, comes from the fact that it's almost mandatory. You have to have it at a certain period, even if you don't like it. Not every family has got enough money to have Christmas pudding. Oh, and banoffee
Okay.
pie if you don't like that.
Yeah, okay.
So no one's forcing you to eat, spotted dick or bread and
My
butter
dad
pudding. Did he? Oh no.
Back in the day, I used to
Don't
hate
think
it.
it.
Without obviously all the innuendo that's going to come with it. I actually quite like spotted dick.
It's all right, yeah.
Yeah. Quite stodgy and hearty, isn't it?
I
If you're
love
hungry.
a bread pudding, bread and butter.
Okay.
pudding.
Bread pudding's nice. That's
really
very
nice.
underrated. But so then, if this isn't for the Hall of Fame, then what would you put as your favourite? Or if you had to pick one dessert to have, what would it be?
Apple crumble.
Jam, plate of jam. We used to have.
I thought you were going to say
Shut up.
jam roly poly.
Jam roly poly
nice.
is really
Jam.
nice. I'm going to go with school dinner cake, which you'll probably remember, which is just a plain sponge and then covered in pink custard. Very, very nice.
What did you call that? School dinner cake at school. What was it called at school? We called it cake and custard.
Makes sense. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if it had a thing. Yeah, it might have been cake and custard, but pink custard, which I don't think had any. I think it was just a bit of red food colouring. What I would definitely do in that top tier is remove tiramisu, which is
same.
really dreadful. It's just a middle-aged woman dessert,
really?
isn't it? Horrible.
Yeah.
What would be my favourite? Oh, Black Forest Gatto.
Uh,
Oh, what?
I don't like cherries.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll put you
That was
off.
a nice noise you just made there, Jack.
Maffew, so what is your nomination here?
Cheesecake. But I just wanted a bit of
Cheesecake.
friendly debate to make us look more human. Sadly failed at the last hurdle, as always, by me describing not pink, not yellow, what sort of a colour in the angel cake. It's cake flavour. Fantastic, Matthew.
Just texted my girlfriend to let her know that my story worked. She won't care,
okay.
but I just need to let her know.
Well, that comfortably brings us to the end of that
So
bit then.
just
Oh, go on.
to specify with the cheesecake thing, we're talking like a New York style cheesecake.
Lovely.
Oh, no. Any.
But they're
New
so
York style's
different.
nice.
New York
The
style
vanilla-
cheesecake is so different to like a strawberry cheesecake.
What do you mean a New York style cheesecake? I'm not sure I follow.
It's like the big, thick, cake coloured one, Maffew. It's like a sort of cake. It is. It's that colour. It's the big, thick one. It's got a biscuity base, but then you've
Buttery
got a
biscuit
big,
base,
thick
yeah.
load of cheese cake on the top.
Ah, I see. Yes.
It's not really a
okay.
cake at all, is it? It's just crushed up biscuit with some, I don't know, what is it? Egg and sugar or something.
Yeah, I guess under this specifications, now Ireland can classify Subway under these.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. But that would be
It's
silly.
like Pringles aren't crisps. There's not enough potato in a Pringle for it to count as crisps, so they don't have to pay VAT on it. Or is that Jaffa Cakes? It's a VAT thing. I think it might be the case with both of them, but the Pringles definitely aren't crisps.
Pringles are so addictive. I think they're laced with something.
Just loads of MSG, the prawn cocktail ones, and they hurt your mouth after a while. Like the salt and vinegar prawn cocktail that you get sore like when you eat too much pineapple.
Have you ever had Pringles late at night and then woken up and then you're so thirsty? It's like a hangover.
Oh yeah.
God.
I once
not
did
easy.
that, and my body woke itself up with a Charlie horse. So I got cramp and woke up and I went,
what?
how is that even possible? Well, you get like really bad cramp in your leg. I went, how is that even possible? And I went, like, yeah, a lot of, I'm not going to say this in English, lots of salty stuff in your body, or not enough water. So it must have just all absorbed all the water in my body. My body went, nah, you can wake up, pal, and just gave me a Charlie horse.
If you just eat too many cake-coloured crisps, it just takes you completely out of the game.
That's right. We can end this segment right now, can't we? So the following nominations, if you've already forgotten Pacitti's, that's not a problem. It was the band Travis. It was also followed by a cheeky plug for the lovely thing that Cultaholic are doing. But do not feel necessary to vote for this band just because of the nice thing that Cultaholic is doing.
No, I won't. On the poll, when I put it up, it'll just be the band Travis.
Travis, as endorsed by Cultaholics. Nice thing. And Jack's was The Amazing Story. I think we'll have to just call that.
Yeah.
We'll save that and people know exactly
what you can call it whatever you want. Jack's mate's story, but it's not my mate's story, is it? Jack's little trick.
Jack's rizzle razzle. That's a very Jack thing to say. Jack rizzle razzled the boys.
I actually stole that saying from my mate, who I pretended was my mate in the story.
Oh, interesting. Full circle. And Maffew's is cake-coloured cheesecake.
Yes, I think we'll put that down so people can vote, just so I can have the piss taken
Or
out of
the
me.
colour,
Next
the colour
week.
cake might win also.
The colour cake.
The colour
Great
cake.
band.
Yeah, like ocean colour scene. It like that sort of vibe.
Wow. 3 amazing picks.
That's a strong Hall of Fame, that one.
That is, wow. And yes, this will hopefully make up for last week's travesty. And you can, of course, vote for NESD. Thank you. Not just cake puns. By going, of course, to patreon.com/Cultaholic.
This is This Week in the Wrestling. It's this bloody week in the wrestling.
This week in wrestling. The SmackDown. Lars Sullivan defeated Jeff Hardy. Woohoo. Oh, good. The descriptions are back. The Freak returned to the squared circle against the charismatic Enigma and immediately came out charging. An injured knee grounded the high-flying superstar. But
Jeff.
Hardy nearly grinded, well, knows about that app, out another win with a twist of fate. Sullivan was triumphant in his return after a freak accident put Hardy away.
Yeah, that happened.
Certainly did. We're definitely excited for Jeff Hardy versus Elias after that.
Is Sullivan on both brands, or is there one that he's now been drafted to?
I thought it was SmackDown. I'm sure I read that he was drafted to SmackDown. Yeah, I think but he's just popping up all over the shop.
He's not the only one. Some people, quite a few people are on both brands, yeah.
Wild card, isn't it?
Well, it's a season premiere and all that. And again, it's very awkwardly done this with the draft, then the premiere, then Hell in a Cell. I think everything's going to happen right after Hell in a Cell's finished, but...
You definitely you want the star power of Lars Sullivan on your season premiere, don't you? That's what's going to get people tuning in. Good luck.
Yeah. And the New Day defeated Nakamura, Cesaro, and Sheamus. I think, is that the only time that 3 have been together? It's nice having the 2 Cesaro teams there. Yeah.
Tyson Kidd should have been at ringside, shouldn't he? It was a really fun match, this, and I thought the promo before it was excellent, genuinely quite emotional, and they gave them lots of time. And yeah, I thought it was really lovely.
Absolutely. It's nice of them to remind everyone that New Day can actually do the good wrestling. The New Day started their farewell match with an impassioned speech to the WWE Universe and a promise that they will remain as strong as ever. Big E and Woods teamed up for an earth-shattering double-team maneuver to earn the emotional victory. Wow.
That's what the writer puts when they don't know what it's called, isn't it? An
what a maneuver.
Move.
The New Day embraced at the centre of the ring and basked in their impeccable history on the blue brand. Christ. Any thoughts here, Jack?
I agree. I'm glad they gave it time. I'm glad it was like a featured part of the show. But I don't know, how am I trying to put this? Like, you know, later on like Raw and stuff where they'd watch each other's matches from the Thunderdome. I don't know if that's taken away from it a bit. This was the final match. If they're going to go back to it, they should wait like a year or 2 at least, surely, instead of continuing their paths together, I suppose.
I agree. I agree.
But the match, but love the segment on the whole, though.
Then the Street Profits defeated Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode via disqualification. SmackDown Tag Team title match. Ford delivered the final blow with a high-flying maneuver. There we go. That took out...
Is this
I think that was the frog splash, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I can't remember the match, but I assume it was.
No, I apologise. It says here high-flying maneuver, Pacitti, and I have to go with what they say. And took out both Ziggler and Roode and left the champion standing tall on the SmackDown season premiere.
Do you think we're going to get that? Is there going to be a rematch at Hell in a Cell? They haven't got a lot of time to build anything else.
Yeah, probably.
There's a match I don't want to see.
Woohoo. Roman Reigns then defeated Braun Strowman, Universal title ship match. Reigns pounced on Strowman and squeezed the life out of the monster with a vicious guillotine hold to force the tap out. I like this. Clear, concise. Yeah, bye Strowman. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Finish. And also, Roman Reigns got something different over. Wasn't just the Superman punch and all that.
Yep, it works in the bit. It's a bit predictable giving him a finisher that's a submission in the run up to an I Quit match, but at the same time, it was brilliant. And making Braun submit is a very, very cool. It's like that feels like a big deal.
Yeah,
they're going all in on Roman, and that's the right thing to do, obviously.
I agree. I've got nothing else to offer there.
Good times.
Cool looking move as well. Suits him.
And also, I like a regular part of his arsenal now is the 1, 2, oh, he kicked out and punched him in the dick as well. Love to see it. On Monday Night Raw, start off with Retribution confronting The Fiend and Alexa Bliss. But then The Fiend went whoop, 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 and teleported away. And then the Hurt Business defeated Retribution. Lastly, cinched in the Hurt Lock on T-Bar, who tapped out to give the Hurt Business the victory. Then The Fiend bulldozed through Buster Retribution after teleporting throughout the match before the advert breaks, as Ali escaped after T-Bar went after the terrifying superstar. When he was
called him? The Fiend, the terrifying superstar.
When he was through with Retribution, The Fiend turned his attention to the Hurt Business, perhaps letting them, and the rest of Raw, know that this is his playground now. There's a lot happening here. Jack, why don't you say something first?
Poor Retribution. I mean, they were causing a ruckus all over the place. Then they accepted contracts and got drafted, and now they're getting battered. It's a weird one. It's what I hoped wouldn't happen. Like, when Vince got bored of them, they'd just get beaten easily, but I'm kind of worried that that's the way it's going. And I'm not too surprised either. Can we have a Mustafa Ali check, actually? Your guys' bet. How's that going?
Yeah, do you want me to just transfer you the money now, Matt? There's not a lot of point, is there?
For those who didn't listen to the last few episodes of the podcast, what is the bet again?
If Mustafa Ali wins, I think it was either the United States or a title. No, yeah, it was a title that isn't the 24/7 title, which might be where he's going, who knows. Then I owe Maffew 5 GBP, which is going to happen without a doubt. Because, well, the state of it, I will say about the segment, right? It was a very cool visual. Before the match happened, The Fiend and Retribution out there, Alexa just staring into both of them staring into the hard cam, all of that stuff, like visually, it all worked. Not talking about the match, but everything that happened, even before and after, without the beatdown, it looked really cool, and we hadn't seen anything like that. And it sounds so basic. I like the way Retribution's the video monitors. I think that just looks really different and nice. And the Fiends are the same thing. It looks cool, but it's disastrous, isn't it? I feel so bad for all of them, but especially Ali, who's had a rough old time of it, obviously. And then they cut his segment last week. And then why have them look clean as well? Who are we even supposed to be cheering for in this?
Everyone's a heel.
It makes no sense at all. And they're done, aren't they? It sucks, but they're done.
They might win at Survivor Series. You never know. There's always a Survivor Series.
I don't think they'll be in a match. I don't think
really.
Wow. I think they're just going to give up on them. They've already lost. What's the point?
Yeah, the 0-2 against the Hurt Business
fact,
in their only match.
Won't Survivor Series be... Yeah, what am I thinking? Survivor Series will be Brand Warfare again, won't it? So
yeah, probably.
They'll probably just be Team Raw. Yeah. Oh.
Just Slapjack. The Hurt Business and Slapjack versus the SmackDown lads. Which one's Slapjack?
Slapjack is
a good one.
The Thorne, is it?
Shane Thorne.
In Australia? Yeah. I think that's him.
Aye, and his Jack got slapped in this match because at one point Cedric Alexander kicked him, and I thought these masks would do some, good job of absorbing the blows. He kicked him, and he went, so Cedric hit him with a little elbow to set him up, and he nearly fell out the ring. Yeah. But then luckily the Retribution lads realised something was up, did a very good job of covering for it and getting people's attention by hitting the ring steps, and he's able to recover and be all right. But yeah, it's weird that the fact that they're wearing masks and Cedric just kicked them, and it was like, oh, it's not a real good mask, is it? It's the paper plate.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've said it all there. someone, when I do little tabs up on my Botch Media Facebook page, just let people know, no, I am watching Raw, don't worry. People are like, I can't believe you don't like The Fiend, Maffew. I'm like, I like The Fiend when he made one appearance, maybe a show, and he did Firefly Funhouse, which I still like. He was all over this. There were multiple appearances throughout Raw, and he did, 4 or 5 appearances during this match, and I hated him. Because it's like, hey, let's get him. Oh, he's gone. You know, it's like, bloody hell. So, yeah, lots of crap there. We'll move on after. This is the positive podcast, I forgot. AJ Styles defeated Matt Riddle. AJ has a massive manager now. And why is that? Because Raw Underground is no more. That's right. It ended up being a complete waste of time in the end. Yeah.
Well, they brought him in as the big ninja, didn't they? Oh, yeah, was the TV. Ninja. He was the big ninja, and he's turned the TV off. And I think that was a really foolish way of doing it anyway. Like bringing in the
Partridge.
Bringing in the there you go. Not
Put
Netflix,
Casino on.
BritBox. Just go through all this. Have you seen this, by the way? Anyone not watching the video version will be very confused by this. Sam put super secret video, do not watch on this. Look at this. It's Adrian Brody. It's 3 minutes. I think it's called Brody Quest.
Oh yeah, Quest, I love Brody Quest.
He loves this. I'd skip it back. But look at him. So, where were we? Oh, I think it was really foolish to debut the big lad as a stupid ninja with Akira Tozawa when it would have been so much more impactful had AJ just walked out with him on the. I'll turn this off. On the day.
So you're gonna have to.
But yeah, no, I like it. I like the pairing, and apparently he's not especially great in the ring at the moment. So hopefully, from being up close and personal with AJ Styles, he'll learn a thing or two.
I like that as well, and I think the contrast between him and Styles is really good. And Styles is so good at like getting anything. Like he'll make it funny or serious when it needs to be. Like he's really good at that. But, oh man, it made Riddle look like a punk-ass bitch. And the ref and everyone. Everyone was terrified of him. Which is the point, obviously, but yeah.
He doesn't need to do anything.
No.
Like he's just he literally, as long as like he gets how to tell a story, he can do 5 moves and he'll still draw loads of money because he's so unique. He is like the biggest that they've had since, Gonzalez?
I think it was like since John Gonzalez, yeah.
Massive.
Yeah.
Good luck to him.
Not the best comparison he probably wants to hear right now, but yeah, very intimidating looking and all that. But I'm pretty sure somewhere he's like, oh, I'm going to miss Shane McMahon hit me chest and going, hey, what's up, big guy? Raw Women's Champion Asuka defeated Lana after Lana won a battle royal last week to earn the opportunity to challenge for the title. She lost in 2 minutes and then, wait for it, you never guess. You'll never guess, not in 100 years. And then Nia Jax went through the table again.
Anybody else getting into this? Anybody else really enjoying it? Like we can ridicule the fact that Lana lost in 2 minutes, but Lana should lose in 2 minutes to Asuka because Asuka is 50 times better than Lana. I genuinely think the table thing is funny. I'm not sure I believe that it's a jab. It probably is a jab at Rusev.
It definitely is. It 100% is.
I just find it quite entertaining. It doesn't offend me. It's petty and it's silly, but it's like, oh, she's been put through a table again.
I think that it's the sort of thing where as long as she's all right with it, that's fine. But if she's just going along with it so she's not rocking the boat, then it's a bit uncomfortable.
I feel like do it enough times and people might get behind her. It's an interesting strategy, but it might work.
Oh, God.
I'd feel a bit more optimistic about it, I guess, if she'd done well in the women's title match, because everybody was like, oh yeah, so they're not burying her, she's got a women's title match, but then she did lose in 2 minutes.
I can't remember who it is, but someone on Twitter was saying, it might have been one of Steven Larson maybe, someone was counting down how many weeks Lana's been put through a table and comparing it to like Retribution or something and seeing which one's going to last longer. It'll be Lana.
Yeah, it will.
She's going to do it.
Do you want a better fiver, Maffew?
I was about to say, yeah, should we... Oh, you know what?
Double or now.
Well, that's nice because I kind of wanted to to take this $5 so you could order me a cheesecake to be delivered when I'm doing the stream on
Oh,
Saturday.
do that. Dude, definitely do that.
I could get you 5 cheesecakes from Iceland for a $5.
Okay.
Do a little pile of them.
Wait a minute, I can't eat 5 cheesecakes. Oh, God, no.
Leaning Tower of Cheeser.
If they're in my house, I'll eat them. That's the thing of like portion control's a bitch during lockdown.
If you want paying in cheesecakes, we can extend that to your Cultaholic money as well, and we can just ship you a load of cheesecakes out instead of the cash.
No,
It's
I
up
don't
you,
want to be
Matthews.
paid in cheesecakes, sir. I just like to. It's tempting as that is.
Okay.
But okay, moving on then. I think we should do another bet.
It's going well for me so far.
Wait.
This could be a whole new video series. So let's just hold on the horses.
We'll hold it on there. I will see you later at the cheesecake section of the podcast.
Cultaholic's underground betting cartel. Yeah. We'll just turn up in suits.
That'd be great fun. Yeah, we should do that.
We should bet our money on wrestling.
You do. You bet on wrestling. You bet on the wrestling. Did you have Slater to win or something? The Rumble. Was it you got ridiculous odds on?
No, it was
Who was
Kofi
it?
Kingston.
Oh, right, after he lost the title.
I put that bet on after he lost Elimination Chamber to Daniel Bryan.
Nice.
And then the next year I thought he'd win it, but he just won at Mania instead.
Yeah.
I have bet on wrestling before. I don't do it so much anymore because in COVID times, anything can change. So I just thought, not worth it, not going to put any more bets on.
Fair.
Yeah.
Well done. Bet
Gamble responsibly, everyone.
Yeah, there we go. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defeated the Riot Squad, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, and Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans, which I think constitutes the Raw Women's Tag Division.
Hated it. Absolutely hated it. I thought the splitting up of the Iconics, I was really annoyed about anyway because they had such tremendous chemistry together, and then to pair Peyton with just a random wrestler, I just thought, what's the point? It's insulting.
There's
to
no
the
rhyme or
audience.
reason. There's no rhyme or reason.
If it's a one-off thing, okay, that's a bit more forgivable. But why even bother anyway? Why, if it's a one-off thing, why? What have they done? They've just gone backstage. What Peyton said, oh, I don't want to be with my mate. I guess Billy's on. Did she get drafted to SmackDown? It's all bollocks. I'm picking holes in it, but it is bollocks.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And if you like that, you'll love the next bit. Jeff Hardy crashed Elias's concert.
And he shredded a sick solo with his back to the camera. You couldn't see the neck of the guitar.
He can play guitar though, can't he?
Probably.
He can sing in a way.
I bet Elias is better than him.
Yeah,
They should have a guitar. Why don't they just have a guitar battle instead of a match?
good shout.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? Elias is, I think he's a bad guy, but he sings really well and does a good song. And it's like,
Well,
okay.
I was just
But
about
like-
to say, I've got Elias's back in this feud. It's bollocks what Jeff's doing to him. Jeff Hardy attacks him because he's angry that Elias thought he ran him over when the evidence pointed to Jeff running him over.
No, the evidence pointed to Sheamus.
Oh yeah, oh yes, it did. But I
Elias
think
being a dick.
I
He
don't
is a
think
great
Elias
singer.
is. I don't think Elias is being a dick. I think if you were almost run over, or was he even run over?
Yeah, I think he was hit by the car.
Yeah, you
he was
wouldn't
laid
be
out.
able-
Yeah.
You wouldn't think logically about that. It would be incredibly traumatic. I had a place of work, and I think that given they played it up in the storyline, Jeff's history and everything, as unsavory as that angle of the storyline was, I think Elias is totally in the right. And even then, let bygones be bygones. Right? Okay, I think you ran me over. You don't think you ran me over. We'll leave it there. And Jeff shows up and attacks him with a guitar and says, "I didn't run you over." Piss off, Jeff, mate. Wanker.
Yeah, but he's Jeff could go to prison, couldn't he? In storyline kayfabe, if Elias said to the police, little Jeff Hardy's run me over, Jeff could be imprisoned for.
Has Elias been threatening to do that?
No.
But he could do that. He could.
He could.
Yeah.
And if he does, he'd be singing Jailhouse Blues.
It was proven that it was Sheamus, wasn't it? It was.
I don't know. What's happened to stories?
I love that all three of us don't know what happened exactly, and all three of us watch every episode of this every week. We'll move on. Kofi Kingston defeated Sheamus, and God, these two
Should be
guys
in
have had a
jail,
lot of
but-
matches. These two guys have had a lot of matches over the years. The first time they had a televised match was FCW. So
Wow.
they've been on for a bit.
Sheamus O'Shaughnessy versus. It was Kofi Kingston then, wasn't he?
Yes,
Or did he go under his real
they
name?
all had all of their names at that point. It was amazing. Yeah, it was a good match, but it's like, okay, cool.
Well, I've sort of complimented WWE over the past few weeks in them, like Sheamus putting people over and like Big E's big win against him. And Sheamus has put over a fair few people recently, not Chad Gable, but other people. I think Sheamus could maybe do with a few wins to just boost him up a little bit, get him involved in a feud that he wins, but not Gable. I don't want to see Sheamus just put people over.
Yeah.
I think he's at the point where he should be, to be honest with you. I mean,
Well, every week, then it stops meaning anything. I was surprised at this. I thought Sheamus might pick up the W.
Well, considering Sheamus, like, maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, was like, I think I'm done.
Yeah,
he's in his 40s. Anyway, move on. El Gran Gordo and Tucker defeated The Miz and John Morrison. Fantastic. It's great. All the segments I used to skip on SmackDown have invaded Raw. We still don't know who El Gran Gordo is. He looked good for a newcomer, I guess. What do you think of him, Jack? You know all the indies.
Yeah, I remember seeing him in Wolverhampton one year. He was brilliant. He's the... Right. Are they just going to forget about Money in the Bank? Like the briefcase and the cash-in? Are they just forgetting about that? El Gran Gordo won the money. He took it from Otis, I believe.
No, he just had the lunchbox. He was looking after the lunchbox for Otis. They cleared that up. That's...
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not bothered about it.
Do you know what El Gran Gordo means in Spanish?
The big pig.
Gordo. Cheese? The big cheese?
The big fat. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, well, it's the big fat...
Yeah, you know what? I was sad when they broke Tucker and Otis up, and if this leads to them getting back together, then it's saved Tucker's bacon, hasn't it? So it's fine. I agree. The Money in the Bank is a big problem, but they'll maybe figure something out. I don't know.
Do you remember when the European title changed hands because Shane McMahon beat X-Pac for it, and then Midian was going through Shane's bag. Hey, can I borrow your thing? And he went, yeah, sure. And he was, oh, can I use this? And he went, yeah, sure, I don't want that. And just put it around him. And that's how Midian was European champion. I think that's what they should do with this. Anyway, on a happier news, Braun Strowman defeated Keith Lee in about 3 minutes.
It was very funny watching Keith sell the dick as he like berated and went after Braun after. And he's doing everything, but he's holding his winky. He's like, you little man, but he's got his hand on his knob. Really tickled me. More of that, please.
Good segment then, on the whole. Yeah, because of that.
That's all I remember.
Yeah. Football in the groin. Yeah.
And then Drew McIntyre confronted Randy Orton inside
He wasn't
Hell in
even
a Cell.
cupping it. He was like holding it like a lobster claw or something like that.
What?
It was like watch him back. He's
like
clearly
that.
he's not just going and cupping the bollocks. He's properly like got his winky in his. I'm sure he does.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
I
Good
missed this,
selling
to be
though.
honest
That's what
with
you'd do if you got hit in the
Checking for lumps.
love length.
Drew McIntyre confronted Randy Orton inside Hell in a Cell. I'm not saying the segment didn't work, but the fact that there were reports going, did the segment end how it was supposed to? And Dewey responded with, yes. Was say that not a lot of people were happy with it. Randy Orton did his thing where he went, I'm so great. I've had 10,000 Hell in a Cell matches. I won the title inside Hell in a Cell twice. La, la, la. Drew McIntyre came out, got the ball cutters and went, all right. And then shut the door, and that's how it went off the air.
It was weird ending. Didn't enjoy it.
I don't like when WWE does
This
this
isn't
thing where...
EastEnders.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, it's a bad soap. It's like, oh, what's going to happen? And it's like...
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we won't find out what happened. That's the issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
They might show us a exclusive, I hit him with a claymore, but imagine if there wasn't a pay, because they've done this before once or twice. If there wasn't a pay-per-view this weekend, the next Raw is not going to start where the last one ended up. It's not going to start with him shutting the cage door. It's going to start with Welcome to Monday Night Raw. It's
They had to show on SmackDown or something. Imagine if he just got in there and they kissed, and that's what we find out that happened on Friday. The match is off.
Yeah, they're in love now. That'd be brilliant. That'd be so good.
I'd love that.
And then I'm just imagining skits where Orton's in an apron, mixing a big bowl. It's fantastic.
Well, instead of Hell in the Cell, it's Love in the Cell. That's whatever.
Is there a pun I'm missing?
Hell, it rhymes with love.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't think of anything that rhymed with love. Love in the dove. It's like, no, that doesn't work. It's still love in the cell.
And I'm calling him out because it's fine because we're friends, but I haven't seen him for about 4 years. But Alex Leadbeater, right, who used to work at What Culture with us, we spent one day all making each other howl with laughter by making wrestler food puns. Eggy Guerrero, Nacho Man Randy Savage, in fact.
No, Macho Man Randy Cabbage.
Cabbage.
Oh, that's
my
good.
favourite was...
Cabbage.
The one I did was Kevin Mash, which I was really proud of.
That's
really good.
And then Alex wasn't part of the wrestling section. He wrote for the film section. And he's a brilliant film writer and he's still doing really well. So I'm just going to say that first before I explain how stupid he was. He thought he was really funny and came up with one. He went, Jack Egg King. And I was like, what? And he went, Egg, because your middle name's Graham. And there's a G, and there's a G in Egg, and there's a G in Graham.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. He's not.
I love Alex.
He's a strange boy, and he always messes up my hair if he's ever up in Newcastle. If I see him on a night out, I'm like, Alex is back up north. I'll go in a rise. Oh, you're right, mate. And he'll go like that to my hair, and I hate it. But he's a great lad. Love him. Great guy. Obviously.
Phil did that to you as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I could have knocked him out.
Yeah,
no, it doesn't.
He wasn't having the whole night at Rise. Phil, like a little gremlin, going like going up like
That's very much what Phil's like.
I love Phil. Phil's my favourite.
He was born in the sea. He's a little swamp creature. He's a man of the ocean. He's like tempting sailors to their death on the rocks. Like a Gollum Poseidon masher. He's crazy. Oh. Anyway. Great guy as well. Love Phil too. Great. Yeah, great. You are quite good friends with Phil. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I haven't seen Phil. Well, I haven't seen anyone in a while. But yeah, I saw. I went into the shop and saw his girlfriend was in there. She gave me some advice on hiking boots. She said,
Lovely.
Adam, you don't need them because you're not going to do any hiking. So I didn't buy any. No, I said I'm going to mostly be walking on concrete. No, don't get any. Just get a nice pair of trainers.
They're a very wholesome couple, aren't they?
Lovely.
Very lovely. Yeah. I feel bad for what I've just said, so yeah.
Little Poseidon. What did you call him?
Gollum mashup.
Yeah. That'll hurt him.
Maybe we should cut that out.
No, he'll be fine with that. Feels
no,
great.
Okay,
Feels
right,
great.
okay.
He'll be fine with that.
Okay.
No, because that's the other consistent part of the podcast.
Me
Jack's
slagging someone
weekly
off.
shoot-a-thon. That's right. Everybody of a podcast, no one is safe.
When we cut a bit and it's always coming back and Jack's giggling away and all the comments every time is like, what did Maffew say there? Who did he accuse of what?
It's often me who's said something, actually. It's not always Maffew.
Yeah.
Often me calling out like a former ICW champion or whatever.
Yeah, that was a good one that got cut out. Yeah, mine are just NXT UK jokes.
They are.
AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament match. Woohoo, yeah, wrestling. Wardlow defeated Jungle Boy in a fantastic match. Jungle Boy reversed a powerbomb off the top rope into a Hurricanrana, but Wardlow recovered and downed him with an F10 to pick up the win.
Two F10, an F20.
That's right, aye.
Two.
What's that in bingo, Pacitti?
What?
What's that in bingo?
I didn't know. You cut out for a second.
Oh,
it's good.
What's 20 in bingo?
What's 20 in bingo? What does that mean?
What
That's
was
not
he?
a
Fat Ladies,
sentence.
88.
Oh, 20. No, I don't know. Two Little Ducks is 22. 20. Key at the door, 21. Key to the door. Key 20. I don't know if it's got one.
Oh, okay.
Well, I love the chemistry we have on this. What do you think of the match there, Pacitti?
Yeah, it's good. It was a predictable result, but it's a decent match. Good showing for Jungle Boy.
Yeah. AEW World Championship Eliminator match. Kenny Omega defeated Sonny Kiss.
Oh.
Why was it Sonny Kiss opposed to Joey Janela? Well, Game Changer Wrestling had a little bit of an event a few weeks ago.
Know this.
Yeah, at least three so far, wrestlers who competed on that show have tested positive for that thing. Oh, we're allowed to say it, aren't we, COVID? And because Joey Janela had associated with somebody there, he was off this. Don't think it matters too much because he was only going to
No, he was going to win the thing. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's what we're all wanting. So that's why we have Sonny Kiss, Joey Janela's partner. And they even said on the show, Joey Janela's not here because of being near someone with COVID. Like, they actually said, yeah, COVID's a thing.
Yeah.
Bizarre hearing that in a wrestling program, isn't it? And Kenny Omega came out, had a big entrance, completely overdramatic. All the titles he's won, all the stars he's got, all the times Meltzer's said nice things about him. And then he annihilated Kiss. He cleaned the ring with him, you say. He definitely cleaned up, as they say.
Yep.
And then he kind of like disingenuously was like, yeah, great, well done, Sonny. So what do you think about this, Jack?
I'm really excited for where it's going. But it's surely going to Omega versus Hangman, surely. And then I think Omega's going to win. And then beat Moxley and be the big champ for a bit. But I think that all the matches in this tournament were good in their own way, actually. It was a really good episode of Dynamite.
It certainly was. That match was almost as good as Rey Fenix defeated Penta El Zero M, which is the thing that we always get asked about in Reese's Pieces, who's the better one for some reason. I'm glad it finally happened on this show, so it's bound to be in Reese's Pieces again. What a match.
Amazing.
Loved every bit of it. And even Fenix getting knocked slightly loopy after falling off the top rope and land on his head, he was still able to do all that crazy stuff afterwards.
Yeah, I was worried for a second about him, but yeah. The backdrop into a powerbomb, I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
That was really good. Loved it.
It's quite hard to talk at length about matches that were just so good, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? Like it was just an amazing, a great showcase for both of them, and the right winner.
Ooh.
Oh, hey.
I've been feeling bad for Phoenix because Kingston's been saying on commentary all the time, that's my best friend, and Phoenix is there as well. I'm like, oh, poor Phoenix.
Hurtful.
Yeah, he's the Jack the Jobber of the Lucha Brothers. Hangman Page then defeated Colt Cabana. And I thought this was a good match, but then it got really good towards the end with the fake outs of the buckshot lariat and all that stuff. So, wow.
It was Cabana's best match in AEW, I think.
I'd say so.
Yeah, really good. And also, have you noticed that Omega won the match instantly and Hangman took nearly the whole time limit? And it's like, I'm very excited.
Yeah, so you're saying Kenny Omega's a quick finisher? That's fine.
Yep.
Le Dîner Debonair. Chris Jericho and MJF.
Nothing to talk about here. Next.
Very forgettable, not very exciting.
I thought it was great. The mixed reaction to it. I put a tweet about Killian Dane and Drake Maverick earlier, just saying like everybody's talking about AEW right now, but I think they're great. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And somebody replied was just like, "Oh, brilliant, was it?" To when I was like talking about the AEW stuff, and I was like, "Yeah, I think it was really fun." If you want to get all dickish about it, it wasn't even really canon, was it? It was like what's the word? Like a. Not a flashback. What's the thing? They were just imagining it in their heads. It wasn't actually a part of the thing, was it?
Oh.
That's what I got from it. It was like, imagine. Okay.
We interpreted it differently. So you think it was a dream sequence between the two of them?
Ish, yeah.
I think it really happened, but they'd engineered it.
Right. Okay.
But I don't know.
That makes sense too.
I don't really know.
It was a non-diegetic dream sequence.
Genuinely, what happened was Jericho had this idea and they thought, yeah, that'll be funny. That's what really happened.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it was just brilliant performances by both of them. They're both so MJF's a hell of a singer as well.
Yeah, he outsang frontman Chris Jericho. Like
it's almost like Fozzy Bad or something, isn't it?
Judas is a good song.
Yeah, Judas is a good song.
But I feel like MJF's range that might have been too low for him. Bit of swing music.
I saw a video of him in college as part of an a cappella group, and he was nailing it. That's on YouTube.
Wait, MJF or Jericho?
MJF. I don't think colleges were a thing when Jericho was young.
Whoa!
I don't know, I'm being horrible.
Ooh, a nowhere with the banter.
Yeah, I think it was really, really funny, just very entertaining, and God, people just whinge about anything, don't they? Not my graps.
Yes, we're the positive podcast. We love it. We love things like this. And yet,
Why
big
do you
hands...
always hype up how positive the podcast is? We slag off.
Oh, that's why people say they like the podcast, because we're positive or trying to enjoy things.
Oh.
That's one of the things I get from people.
Fair enough.
I've been on a bit of a downer this week, so there you go. There's your, it's really... No, on this podcast, sorry, not this week. So I think this was brilliant and lots of fun, and if you didn't find it fun, you don't like fun and you're an idiot.
See, the positive podcast. That's why people like it. Yeah, I liked it. Again, it couldn't have been done with anybody else but Jericho and MJF, and this passive-aggressive, all right, yeah, you're going to turn on me, I'm better than you, and the thing with the steak, and I thought, that's a good example of a heel because you ordered it well done. I was like, that's a good heel move, that. And then he started singing, and I liked it, but I also like the fact that, I know, as I'm watching something, that I'm going to be so productive the rest of the day because social media is going to be a complete dumpster fire for the rest of the day, and there's going to be nothing there that interests me. So I'll go and, hoover the carpets or do the dishes or do something productive instead. So thank you two lads.
I'd like to shout out Robbie Williams' Swing While You're Winning album, which featured a cover of that song with him and his mate Jonathan Wilkes. And they do it justice. It's a good cover of the song. It was the first version of it I heard, actually. So when they started doing it, I loved it. I was like, because I like the song anyway. It's a good song.
You must have been beaming.
I laughed to myself. You know when you watch something on your own and statistically you're less likely to laugh if you're not watching it with someone else? I actually laughed out loud. I lolled watching it. It was a bit crap, though, the dancing and stuff.
Yeah.
They'd rushed
it was self-aware, wasn't it? It was, apparently they were filming it up to, 20 minutes before it aired?
They were filming it in the early hours of the morning, and then the next day it got finished in the edit with about 20 minutes to go.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Well, they smashed it. It was very funny.
Yeah.
Dr. Britt Baker defeated Killian King. Got that right?
Kylan, I think.
King.
Kylan.
Oh, is it?
She's on Dark.
It's definitely Kylan. It's 100% Kylan.
Oh. Fisherman's Neckbreaker, a stomp on the lockjaw, spelled the end of the
Try and say her name.
It's spelled K-I-L-Y-N-N.
Try and say Kylan. Just say her name.
Oh, Kylan. I can say
there you go. He's done it. Yes. I thought you were going to butcher it somehow.
But it looked like... No, he's in the main event.
Hey!
It doesn't look like Kiln, though. Kiln's a good name. Anyway, moving on. Four-way tag team number 1 contender match.
Kiln? Like the thing you do pottery?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. Got a tough exterior, but a warm interior.
Nice.
Oh.
Four-way tag number 1 contender match. The Bucks defeated Private Party, Butcher and the Blade, and the Dark Order. Matt pinned Cassidy, and it only just got him. Only just rolled through. And then Tully Blanchard, the masked man, joined the tag champions in a beatdown of the Bucks, culminating with a spike pile driver on Nick and the chair assault to the ankle of Matt. Makes sense that they're doing the Bucks versus FTR. But Jack, you inhaled. What were you going to say?
I liked the match, and I liked how everyone got a little chance to shine. And John Silver was balling, out of control. He was great. And JR's like, he's all jacked up on Mountain Dew. I was like, what? But I just didn't like Tully wearing the mask. I was waiting, because it hyped up my expectations. I was like, Punk's back or whatever. And it was just, who's this like mystery man going to be? Oh, it's their manager anyway. I was like, well, But the match was enjoyable, and we get Bucks versus FTR finally.
It is weird, the build-up to this has been the Bucks being more and more diddler-esque, as we say in the show, and FTR being established as full-blown diddlers. So the dream match is 2 diddler tag teams.
It is, but maybe that's right, because they're both most famous for their heel work.
Yeah, it kind of works.
Kind of,
I guess.
You'd imagine the Bucks would have been baby faces, wouldn't you? But I don't know.
Yeah. Oh well, just looking forward to the match. And that was AEW. NXT, also on the same time. Kushida defeated Tommaso Ciampa and Velveteen Dream in a triple threat match. Dream's cast led to Kushida's victory, as he practically knocked the Blackheart out with a strike to the head before Kushida pinned Ciampa with a German suplex. I'm just reading it as it says it here. What did you think of this, whoever watched NXT this week?
Yeah, I've only seen the highlights of NXT. I ran out of time today. Ciampa just doesn't feel, I don't want to say he doesn't feel like a big deal, but he's fallen quite far down the totem pole, hasn't he? And I know he got knocked out with the cast and everything, so it's not like a clean, didn't just get pinned or anything. I guess it's because he's done everything that there is to do in NXT. What else is there? What more can he do? If he goes back for the world title, is that really going to mean anything? Yeah. I don't want to be like, oh, put him on the main roster, because he himself says he doesn't want to ever go to the main roster or anything. I'm just not sure there's that much more that they can do.
It's weird, isn't it? Because if that was on Raw, you'd never say that, because people win world titles multiple times and stuff. But because the way NXT is, it feels like a journey, doesn't it? It feels like a rotating cast, and they come through. It's just weird how it's set up differently, and it's weird to have a regular stick around. I feel the same about Balor, even though he's the champion at the minute. Mm-hmm. Strange.
Yeah, Ciampa's right now is in the Sheamus role. Yeah, you do everything. You don't really need to be there, but kind of, I guess, if everybody got COVID at the top of the card, you can always put him there, and it's like, it's better than nothing. It's better than Joey Abs or somebody. But right now, it's you feel like he should have left. It's like he's like the last guy at the party that you have to politely tell, like, no, it's over, mate. Just go elsewhere. Ember Moon defeated Jessie Kamea. Emma Moon continued to look as good as ever, defeating Jessie with a unique deathlock chinlock combination of her singles match in more than a year. But afterwards, Moon felt the wrath of Dakota Kai, who vowed that Moon wouldn't use her as a stepping stone.
She will. She will use her as a stepping
Yeah, she
stone.
will. That's exactly what shall happen. Bronson Reed defeated Austin Theory twice. The Ozzilla had to beat All Day not once, but twice just to shut him up.
The Ozzilla.
Again, I'm just reading what's in front of me. I'm like Ron Burgundy.
Anything. That's not me. That's legit.
Ozzilla.
Yeah, it looks like the Ozzilla is gone for a little bit. So he got beat twice.
Wait, which one's the Ozzilla?
No. Austin Theory's gone.
Sorry,
Yeah, Bronson Reed's the Ozzilla.
The Austin Zilla, sorry. The Austin Zilla he got beat. He got beat twice, and then they did this little backstage thing where he gets in his car and he quits. It's done.
Oh, no.
Don't know what that means. Obviously, he was like, I don't know if it's related to the accusations and all that, the speaking out stuff. Might be, but I don't think we'll see him on TV for a bit.
Oh dear, how sad. Never mind. Legado del Fantasma defeated Isaiah Swerve Scott, Jake Atlas, and Ashante the Adonis. Chase Parker locked Dane in a single leg crab while Matt Martel made Drake watch from ringside, but Maverick eventually broke free and wielded a chair against both opponents. Though it cost he and Dane the match, Dane was impressed by Drake's fire.
This was brilliant. It's so fun. I love the... It's a really, really basic story, but I think they're just doing it right. When Dane and Maverick came out, again, like Killian Dane was like, stop the music. And then Drake shows all this fire. And it was just a nice, tiny little swerve, wasn't it? Like, he got the chair and you thought he caused the DQ. And you thought that Killian Dane was going to be angry at him, but Killian Dane was just like, no, that's what I want to see. That's the fire. And he didn't go as far to like dancing along to the music at the end. So he's still the big man who wants to be taken a little bit more seriously, but they're starting to love each other.
I think that it's good, especially because we know that they're actually both really nice. Oh, good. I'm enjoying it a lot as well. I love the music.
It's really fun, isn't it? It's really... Yeah.
Timothy Thatcher defeated Anthony Green, one of the fresh batch of Evolve wrestlers that they've gotten.
So aggressive there. I don't know what it was like. Timothy Thatcher beat Anthony Green. I don't know what.
Sorry about
Sound
that.
like you're from Manchester.
I'm glad I'm not. Thatcher forced Green to tap out after taking advantage of a cheap strike before the bell sounded, once again making an example of a student.
Yeah, he's been doing the same thing for a long time. Maybe he needs a story. It's probably going somewhere.
Yeah. I hope so. Danny Burch and Wani Lorcan defeated Breezango to become the new...
Oni.
No, Wani. It's like a bit like one.
Oni.
Like irony is a bit like iron. To become the new NXT Tag Team Champions. A masked man pushed Fandango off the top rope, was it Tully Blanchard, while Burch hit Breeze with a low blow behind the official's back, leaving him vulnerable for an assisted elevated DDT to crown the Brit Am Brawlers as new champion. Is that their name?
That's
Apparently
their name.
so.
Yeah, that's legit, that.
And then afterward, if that wasn't
connection.
shocking enough, Pat McAfee revealed himself as the masked man, pulling back the curtain on the trio's ploy.
I liked this, though. I liked it. I like the title change. They well deserve it. If there's any tag team who deserve winning those belts more than Lorcan and Burch, I mean, they've been doing it for ages and really well. And I like that McAfee's involved as well. I think this is really good.
It's sort of worked out for them, hasn't it? Because it was obviously, I don't think McAfee was meant to be a part of this, and Ridge Holland got injured. But McAfee really, really impressed at TakeOver, so I'm not adverse to seeing a bit more of him.
Yeah.
I think it's quite good. And it makes storyline-wise, it makes sense as well. I don't think it was the plan, but yeah, they've done a good job with it. And I agree. I feel a bit bad for, I almost said Fandango and Tyler, but Breezango, because they've had a pretty crappy reign there, haven't they?
I thought they had some all right matches. I mean, I think they were going to be as good as they were ever going to be. I mean, it is Breezango. They're known for the gimmicks outside the ring, so I thought it was also nice that they got a pat on the back. Well done, pal. Here's a tag title reign for you.
Yeah.
Don't say we
Triple
didn't
H is
do
good at
anything
that,
for
isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, that was a lot of wrestling. There's a lot more wrestling to come this weekend with Impact Wrestling's Bound for Glory happening. And apparently someone was telling me that we're doing some sort of thing where if we type something, we get some sort of money off. What's that about, Pacitti?
That's right. If you head to cultaholic.com/impact, you get 10 free, $10 worth of fight credits. All new users get it. So yeah, just head there, download the app, and you get $10 for free, and you can use that on pretty much any pay-per-view on Fight TV if you're that way inclined.
Wow. Bloody hell.
Don't say we don't spoil you. All right. Also, we make a
Nonsense.
couple of quid from doing it, so thanks if you do.
Let's have a rummage in our mail bags.
And now it's time to have a little look in the mailbag. Number 1. Hey there, obligatory diddlers. Christ. A couple of weeks ago, Jack was talking about how Ben Potter absolutely despises Angelo Dawkins, and I cannot agree more. I hate his every ounce of being, since all it seems he is able to do is shout, yeah, like a fire alarm during Christmas dinner. Wow. That said, I love the Street Profits and I adore Montez Ford. Which leads to the question, which tag teams did you love the one wrestler but hated the other one? Only recent examples I can personally think of is Sasha Banks and Bayley. But this is mostly because I am fairly certain I'm in love with Sasha. And Bayley is being intentionally obnoxious, so kudos to her for playing her role well. Keep on doing what you do, since you are consecutively bringing out good content, bringing a lot of joy and entertainment to a lot of people in these trying times. Kind regards, Just Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
Wow.
Cheers, Rob.
I like that
Fire alarm at
expression.
Christmas dinner. Fire alarm
Yeah.
at Christmas dinner is brilliant.
Stealing that one.
Rob, are you a Southern 80s NWA commentator? You like a fire alarm at Christmas dinner?
I've got one that sprang to mind immediately. Well, another Primo, obviously, who's just a bad person. High energy. I hated Coco Beware.
Oh, really?
He's just, even as a kid, I was like, everybody else who had an animal, yeah, that. Oh, brilliant. That's really, you look like a bird. No, because you had Bulldog with Matilda, you had Jake with Damien, and I can get behind that's good. They're good animals. A parrot, it's just rubbish, isn't he? And I can't remember really much of Coco Beware's matches or anything like that, but he was there as a sort of mid-card comedy act, but he wasn't funny, and I just found him very, very annoying. As a child, and I was the target audience, wasn't I? Can you honestly say you like Coco Beware? Anyone? I feel bad now.
Bit before my time.
I like this parrot. I like Frankie.
Frankie, yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Well, yeah, but I like parrots as well. They're fine. They're fine animals, but who's attached to?
I view Coco Beware as like looking back at because I was never around when he was doing his thing, so he's just one of those charming gimmicks from the past, isn't he? I'm like, Coco Beware.
Yeah,
Maybe
fair.
that's how people will look at God, I can't even think at the minute. But that's how people will look at wrestlers in the future. I wonder who's going to be like a
Elias.
Yeah.
I like Coco Beware. He'd come out and he'd do that thing and he'd be like, oh, yeah, you're flying because of Frankie. And he goes, nah, mate, I'm high as a kite. When it comes to tag teams, as a kid, I loved Road Dogg of the New Age Outlaws. And my dad also liked Road Dogg. I think I told the story before. He saw Wrestling with Shadows without me. He must have seen, maybe I can understand my son a bit better. So for a while, the only three wrestlers he knew were Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, and completely inexplicably, because he's only in it for 2 seconds, is Road Dogg.
I was going to say, I don't remember a scene with Road Dogg in that, and I've watched that fairly recently.
Yeah, and I think it's just because my dad was very taken aback by a white guy with that type of hair wearing what can only be described as a gangster's jogging gear. And I think it was all those things put together really had an effect on him. And I thought he was very entertaining, he was very good, and I think he would do the majority of the stuff in the ring. And I just never got Billy Gunn in the New Age Outlaws because he would just go, suck it, and then Road Dogg would do all the entire spiel, basically. So I'd say him. That's a good pick. Love Billy Gunn now. Now I realise he is actually as big as Jim Ross always say because of AEW and it's, like Lilliput.
Yeah, he's huge.
Jack.
Okay. Oh, right. Sorry. I didn't realise it was my go. I'll go for Head Cheese. Obviously love Steve Blackman. He's like my guy. He was my boy when I was younger. Loved him. And I've never really got Al Snow. Never really got him.
Wow.
I know that I was too young to get the head joke, as clever as it is. But, like, it's not very good. It's not very funny. And since then, without that, what is Al Snow's gimmick? He's, like, crazy. And Mick Foley's rubbish, mate.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
fair.
right, okay.
The head talks to him.
Oh, yeah, that bit of it was good. Just the head joke wasn't that clever when I got older and realised what it was. But on the whole, I don't, like, hate Al Snow or anything. It's just that Steve Blackman was, like, my boy, as OSW Review would say. And Al Snow really just wasn't anything, like, for me as a fan.
It is really dirty, head cheese, isn't it, as a name?
Yeah, that's awful. Yeah, it's really bad. Yeah.
No, it's a term for... Oh, what is it?
Smegma.
No,
Smegma on your belly.
no, I never thought of it like that. No, head cheese is a thing.
No, it's not. It's head cheese. It's the smegma that forms around the helmet of the penis.
The gland's penis.
I'm saying this
means,
honestly.
head cheese.
I have never thought of head cheese meaning that.
No, that's the joke.
Have you never... Are you being serious?
Head cheese is a cold cut that is a terrine or meat jelly, often made with flesh from the head or a calf or pig.
It's a smegma.
What an awful
Well, the
word.
one that didn't win the tag titles. then.
Smegma.
Yeah, it's an awful word, isn't it?
That's a good name for a jobber. If Tony Chimmel announced that in this weighing in at 120 pounds, smegma, people would love that. That should have been one of Retribution.
Oh,
Slapjack, smegma, cake,
Deland.
And that is what it is. Yeah. I saw a Val Venus t-shirt the other day. We're on the subject of attitude here, and it said cocked and ready to load, cocked and loaded, cocked and ready, whatever it was. But it was, like the AJ Styles one that it inadvertently looked like Jism. This was just designed to look like Jism.
I'm really concerned because I've just remembered something that happened to me when I was like 7, maybe.
dear.
No, it's nothing that bad. Like Big Brother was huge when we were younger, like massive Big Brother. And I remember I tried to sort of watch it, but sometimes I wasn't allowed. Sometimes if it was on after my bedtime and stuff. But I was like, oh, what's been going on Big Brother? And I saw, just in the newspaper, just left in the house, I think, that one of the Big Brother contestants was possibly in trouble for apparently masturbating near like one of the women or something like that. Like he wasn't doing it in private, he was just in the bedroom and she was also in there, and it was a bit dodgy. And I didn't know what that meant, that word, so I looked it up in the dictionary, and I was so disgusted by the concept of it that I nearly had a panic attack.
Oh my god.
I've never explained. My mum will still remember me having the panic attack, because I remember she was in the shower at the time, and I remember like shouting through the bathroom door like, I can't see, something's going wrong. And then she was like, just lie down on the bed, it'll be fine. I think she must have assumed I was having some sort of like attack. It's the only panic attack I've ever had, and it was because I found out what masturbation was.
Well, this is going to stick, isn't it?
Wow.
You're never getting away from this.
Mate.
It was. I've never told her that was why. I've never.
Oh, you
told
didn't
her.
explain?
I think I must have just made something up, like, oh, I saw something gross on the telly or something.
What upset you about it, Jack?
It was specifically the description included the idea of something shooting out of the end of your penis.
You
And I
knew
remember
what
that-
weeing was, though, right? That's
Yeah,
like
but
shooting
this,
out the end of the willy.
yeah, but this one just freaked me out for some reason. I was only a little boy, and it just really just struck some sort of chord in me that made me think, that's what's in my future, is it? I'm out. I can't do this. I'm having a panic attack.
When you finally did masturbate,
I've never
did you
done
feel
it. It's traumatized me that much.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay.
No, it must have just. It wasn't like a traumatic memory that I held onto for years and years. I just occasionally remember it, like, oh yeah, that time. But it was just a one-off thing, and then I got over it. Apparently, wow. Strange though, very strange.
And now 6 a day.
Lockdown, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing going on.
There you go. Don't let your
Why
dreams
have I
fade
told
away.
that? Why have I told
I was going
that
to say, I
story?
mean, it's always interesting,
Why have
this
I done that?
podcast. Inadvertently, we go from coloured cake to wrestling to therapy.
Why have I done that?
Maybe
now that I've gotten it off my chest, maybe I'll feel better. Yeah.
Yeah.
My first masturbatory experience was with.
There's a bad start to the sentence immediately.
Was with a vibrating car seat from Woolworths.
No.
I've told this before. I think I told this on a stream. But when my parents bought it, and you just slot it over your car seat, and it massages your back, but it's just bzzz, like that. I took it upstairs because I thought, I've got a bad back. Laid on my back on it.
No.
This is quite nice. Turned over on my front. I was like, something's happened here. Didn't jizz.
I thought that's what you meant.
No.
Just taking the heat off you, mate.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you. Yeah, cheers for that.
Hot tag Pacitti. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to work, unfortunately.
Nah, it's not going to even put a dent.
Maffew, you got anything to add?
Don't be silly. First time I did it, I hadn't have properly explained, and I thought I broke my cock.
All of these stories are brilliant. You've taken it. Thank you for balancing it out, guys.
What happened here, Maffew?
I was watching something that was a very nice thing to watch for that young age. And
Dexter's Lab or something.
Christ. I wear man, bag puss. And
this podcast become really smutty all of a sudden.
Wait, none of this is going to make the
smutty.
wait a minute, hang on. We're like, thank God we could say COVID. We won't lose any money. Anyway, here's about me dick.
This will make
this is good. This is staying in.
No, I think, you know what? I think it's just easier leaving it like that. It's not as exciting after. I was like, no one had sat me down. Like, sex education is very odd because we all sat in I remember like the sex education class we had, and it was almost like the teacher went, all right, who doesn't know? And I was going to go, me, I don't know anything, because all lads are like, yeah, we know about this. I'm like, yeah, me too. I'm really with it. So I figured out myself, and wasn't complaining, but it was like a, Christ.
So, the problem is that after this podcast, until next week's podcast, we are going to get messages like, when there's been a really funny episode, we get like, love the podcast, lads, really fun. We're going to get that, and it's going to be because of all the knob talk, unfortunately.
You're right. We should move on to the questions.
Our sex education consisted. No. White, please. Just consisted of all I remember is a VHS tape of a robot who had urges. That's all I remember. It's the worst way of teaching your kids, because it's obviously very human behaviour. So, strip all that away. Circuit boards and LED lights.
Oh no.
So it's just this robot that went around confused as to why he fancied women. It wasn't lady robots. It was a robot that fancied human women.
Yeah.
That's
all we had. I was off sick when we had the condom over the banana talk.
Oh, that's going to be the next. You know how like people's grandparents might say something a bit racist or something, and you've got to be like, well, it was a different time. Ours is going to, when we're all old, we'll be saying really robophobic stuff. And everyone's going to be like, well, the robots are allowed to fancy the humans, so you're not being very tolerant here.
Yeah.
That's going to be ours. We're going to be robophobes.
I met a sex robot. I think I told you about this. I went to that talk.
You've
humanized
it immediately.
I can't remember her name, but there was a talk at the Life Centre, and I went to it about 2 years ago. And there was this this bloke who had developed a sex robot. The AI was awful. Like you'd get better from like Amazon Alexa or whatever. But she could do basic things, and she could sort of like you would say, what's your favourite music? And she'd go, my favourite music is Keen, like that. And at the end, I went up and because I'm interested in robotics, and I chatted to him. And this, by the way, the talk was about the ethics of robotics and sex, which I thought was quite interesting. Creepy of it. All right, Maffew, don't make that face. Don't look in the camera. You're not Tim off The Office. And then he and he said, oh, do you want to touch it? And he let me put my finger in its mouth, her mouth. I don't know what it was. Talky mouth orifice. Go on, do the next question. I've blabbed on enough.
One more question on this subject.
We've given Rob way more than he bargained for with that question.
Rob's like, I was a lifelong fan of Cultaholic until this week's podcast.
Was that from the tag team question?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Kogo Beware is how we got here, by the way. One question, and I'll move on.
Head cheese, knobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. And it's like 6 degrees of knobs. One question. When you say it was about a robot that fancied women, what type of robot are we talking? Was it like an android, like C-3PO? Or was it like a box on legs?
No, it was like Awesomeo off South Park, but made of metal. There wasn't a person inside it because it was clearly I think it went along on wheels if I remember correctly. But it just confused me more. I didn't understand what the hell was going on, and everybody developed earlier than me as well. So when everybody was getting into all the masturbation, and I didn't know what was going on. Didn't have anything to go off, just this robot.
Oh.
What's the next question?
That's awesome. So 1950s Russian space program robot teach about sex. You know what? I feel all right with my sex education. Thank you very much, Pacitti. Hello, gents. I hope you're all well and looking after yourselves. Well, of course we are, pal.
Jack 6 times a day looking after himself.
Just bullying.
More regular than the buses.
Sorry, I didn't realise it was 2016 again. Do you remember when you hit me in the face with a chip and I went off it?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
you bring it up a lot more than I think.
I was
about
really
it.
angry. It really angered me. I was
We
really
were doing
annoyed.
a bit because
They weren't.
dangled it. Where's we were?
No, you just did it, and I got really cross. It was
Because
annoying.
I dangled a chip in your face.
Yeah, you touched my face with one of your chips.
Well, I thought you wanted it.
Well, no, you didn't. You knew. And this is. I need to let this go. I really.
Yeah,
need to let this
probably.
go.
I love it.
Can you have a go at Maffew instead? We don't want to upset the
Oh, yeah.
the format of the podcast. Rather.
Yeah.
Am
People
I
like
moving
it
a
when
bit
me and you
slowly?
fight.
Is it okay, my camera?
No, it's all right.
Okay, fine. As long as it's good enough for the quality of the podcast.
Nothing's going to save the quality of this podcast.
No, true.
I'm sure. Yeah, here we go. Hope you're all well and look after yourselves. I'm sure they will likely not remember, but around 4 years ago, I had the good fortune to meet Sam and Jack and briefly chat with them. I say good fortune because I don't live anywhere near Newcastle, but I was in town on my stag do. My best man just happened at the time to live next door to Sam and Jack, meaning I briefly met them both over a garden
Over the
fence.
garden wall. Yes.
After a good few cans to work up some courage. I realise now that some may view this as rude, including myself looking back, but both were very welcoming and forthcoming with talking to me for a few minutes. Thanks, lads.
Oh no, that was really good. I remember that. Yeah.
This leads me to my question. In your time at Cultaholic or elsewhere, who has been a celebrity that you've spoken with that made you the most nervous and why? For me, it would be Brian Blessed, who I randomly met in a pub in my hometown. He was exactly as you'd expected to be, and the chat lasted for about 2 minutes. Thank you for doing what you do for all us fans, and congratulations on the 600k subscribers. You deserve that and much more, Luke. Thank you very much, Luke, for that love thing. And that's nice that you had that little get-together. Do you remember anything, Jack?
Yeah, I do remember it. I remember his mate. I had no clue and just didn't care. But no, he was a really nice guy, and he has not picked me and Sam for his nervous to talk to. He said that Brian Blessed made him more nervous. Well, devastated about that, to be honest.
That's a good question. Any celebrities that you've met? You must have met loads, Pacitti. You're a big deal. That you were most nervous to meet.
Yeah, when I was a kid, Jake the Snake went to, I think this was like 94, 95. I think it was probably the first wrestling show I went to. It was at Ventnor Winter Gardens on the Isle of Wight. And I've got a feel, if I remember correctly, it was Jake the Snake and Bushwhacker Luke. Would that make sense with 94? Oh, they got sacked in 95, didn't they? Got let go 95 from WWE. It was soon after they got let go.
Who, the Bushwhackers?
Yeah, I think it was 95.
No, they were around until 97.
No.
Yeah.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it was way later than I thought. Anyway, so I was really scared of him, and I'd seen his babyface stuff as well, but all that I could think about, I remember, was, oh man, this is the guy that got the big long snake to bite Macho's arm. That's horrible. And Dad, I remember him having to coach me and like doing that to my shoulders. Go on, Adam, go on. You might never get another chance to meet Jake the Snake. So I went up and spent tenner of my dad's money and got a Polaroid that came out all blurry. Couldn't see any of it, but I did meet him. I promise.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
nice.
a justifiable one. Scary guy.
Oh yeah, very intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
match.
96. I bet. Bloody hell.
No.
Yeah, it was 96 Bushwhackers World up to, and I'm going to go with something similar. At StarCast 2, I was alright talking with all the big stars and stuff, because half of them were like, oh, that's that stupid video person, how you doing? But I lost the... Was that right? What was that noise?
Sorry, that was me. I've dropped a plug, but it's not unplugged
that's
anything
fine.
crucial.
That's cool. I lost the ability to speak, talking, to one Dan the Beast 7.
Oh, really?
And I don't know why, because I liked the idea of him and everything, but I wasn't like a diehard UFC early goer, but it was just like, he's just so friendly. It throws you off, because everyone's got that, all wrestlers seem to talk that certain way, where it's like, hey, how you doing, buddy? And you can tell where they're like, yeah, how you doing, Polaroids or 10 t-shirt, and all right, cool, they're in working mode, and it's all right.
Yeah.
But he was just like so alert. You know, his eyes were like owls, and he had his 3 titles that he has, that he still keeps. I forget how that works. One of them was the Ultimate and all this, and he's just like, hello, good to see you, how you doing? You having a good time? You know, hi, I'm Dan the B7. I'm like, I know who you are, but it's the same feeling you get when you watch all these old school documentaries about serial killers, and they're like, oh, Ted Bundy, he was just so charismatic. And that was the feeling I got from him. I was just like, the photo, just t-shirt, and that was it. That's all it got out of me. So
Did it feel like he was your dad or something? Because that's what...
Maybe.
Because he's an older man, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I would want to impress him. I'd want him to be proud of me if I met Dan the B7. I like the way that you said, by the way, I like the idea of Dan 7. I didn't know what you meant by that, but I really enjoyed it.
That's just how I speak, which is terrible. And Jack, what have you got?
I've not got any non-wrestler ones either, unfortunately, as good as the Brian Blessed example was. But I'll probably go for... it's probably Bret Hart, it's because he's the biggest wrestler I've met, along with probably Kurt Angle. But Bret's bigger than Kurt, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be... But I met them both one after the other. It was like a 1-2 punch. Because I was just walking through backstage looking for a toilet, and I went in that green room in the Northumbria venue where the American wrestlers would often commandeer as their room. But I didn't realise they were in there yet, and I knew there was a toilet in there. So I opened the door, and Kurt Angle's looking at me, and I'm like, oh. And then I didn't know what to do, so I just shook his hand. Oh, I'm Jack, nice to meet you. And then turned round. Bret Hart sat there against the other wall, and I'm like, Christ alive, like, what do I do here? But, you know, Bret's not the chattiest, so I didn't have to say much.
That's not true. He jumped out his seat. You must be Jack the Jobber.
Jack the Jobber, there he is. Moose did do that, which was weird.
He was a big fan of you, wasn't he?
I don't know where had he been watching.
I remember him asking, "Hey, where's the Jack the Jobber, man?"
Had he been watching the fast count? I don't understand. I was rubbish then as well, really bad.
So was he.
So
he's good now.
Mine's Bret, but the one who I remember thinking like, wow, this is happening, and this is... I didn't get scared, but he was like... You know when you meet someone famous and you're like, I can't believe that we've both just been living our lives and I've been aware of them and then we're in the same place at the same time. It's just bizarre. Your brain kind of goes, what? Was Rikishi. I was like, oh my God, it's Rikishi. Because he's one of the first wrestlers that I ever remembered. And he was lovely. So I'll go for Rikishi, but in a nice way. Because he's one of the... Go on.
It's weird that these people have like skin and they're people. Do you know what I mean? You see them and they're an actual human being there, and they're not just two. It's so weird being in the same vicinity as them.
I first got that feeling at gigs when you see like a famous musician. You're like, well, they're actually here in Newcastle or whatever. You're like, what? And you're seeing them from just one camera angle, which is your eyes. You're expecting to see them shot in a certain way. It's weird. Yeah.
Also remembered Starcast 2. I had the thingy pass. It's like performer. So I was like, oh, there's a green room where I can get like food and stuff. Get in, scran. So in Vegas, looking through all these people, going past people going, you know, look at my badge. And go through there, and there's everybody. It's Conrad Thompson, it's Brett Lauderdale, it's Ricky Morton, and just all these people. I'm like, oh, great. Yeah, it's a crazy mix. And I'm like, wow, this is really cool. Taking it all in, going, do I say hello? Because you don't really have a conversation and go, oh, it's me. And they hear it, and everyone else is talking about business deals. And I thought, I should leave now, because Vampiro's just come in. And that was looking for all the exits type of situation. Wait, well, if I wore WWE shirt, would he protect me type situation? And luckily he didn't know who I was, so I went, fantastic, walked away.
Imagine news coming out of Vegas that weekend, going through the dirt sheets. Maffew's been battered by Vampiro. Fantastic.
And no one would have blamed him. No one would have come to my defense, and they'd be completely right, Your Honor. But even worse, he was in front of the door for a while. He was just talking to people. So I'm like, oh, all right, cool.
He was just waiting for his music.
Yeah. Good one, man. Hello, gentlemen. First, a huge thanks for all you do. The hard work and content has been essential in helping a lot of people this year. Anyway, to business. As a primary school teacher, I have to deal with a wide variety of topics and conversations each day. Sometimes this even extends to recent events in the world of professional wrestling. About a year ago, I was outside on playground duty and witnessed two children begin what can only be described as a post-contract signing brawl. I marched over doing my best Fit Finley impression, ready to break this up, when another child tried to intervene. He was very lightly knocked by the scuffling pair and took the sort of ref bump that little Nate would be proud of. He threw himself backwards over a bench and rolled around like he'd been KO'd. I waded into the melee and pulled the children apart, and then one of them proceeded to cut such a visceral, angry, shouting promo on both the child he'd been hitting and myself that I thought I'd time warp back to the 80s to see peak coked-up warrior spitting fire. I can't repeat a lot of what was said due to the obscenities, but let's just say he was gunning for this kid and thought his mum, or mam for Maffew to read, thank you, pal, was a bit of a bicycle, if you catch my drift. I was told that his dad would be in to sort me out and that I would lose my job and then become homeless. He also got some big heat from the onlooking crowd by telling them all he would get them next and that the head teacher couldn't control him. I was in the process of restraining this child and attempting to signal a teacher at the other end of the playground for help when I forgot the golden rule of a big brawl. One person always manages to get free and attack again. Realizing I wasn't looking, the child channeled his inner Nakamura and went low. He huffed me right in the nadges, and I was down to a knee. He pelted forward out of my grip and straight towards his target. At this very moment, Ref Bump Kid had just staggered to his feet. Clearly, the overselling had angered the beast, because he hit this child with a clothesline from hell that I genuinely believe caused Ref Bump Kid to do a full 180-degree spin in midair.
Bollocks.
That's what you get for overselling, kid. Knowing the adults were closing in, he had one chance to get the final blow on his target. Using momentum off the back of the clothesline, he swooped around the back of his original target and gripped his waist tightly.
Float over DDT.
I had a feeling I knew what was coming, and the entire event seemed to take place in slow motion as this child leaned back and delivered the cleanest looking German suplex I've ever seen.
Bollocks!
As our very own next big thing returned to his feet, looking back at the carnage he had caused, I was back to my feet, no selling his offense, and carrying him out inside to sit outside the head's office. When he then thrashed, hitting the head teacher with a chair in the process. Needless to say, he was excluded from the school for a time after that. There's some length to go, by the way. And I myself left shortly after, so I'm unsure what became of him. I'd like to think the head teacher took my suggestion on board and placed him in a tag team match against Ref Bump Kid and his original opponent, but I doubt it.
So with that in mind, boys, which hand do you wank with?
It's going to be, isn't it? Let's have a look. Anyway, on to my question. Which is, who was the naughtiest kid you can remember from primary or secondary school? What did they do? And do you know what ended up happening to them? Sorry for the ramble, but I know how much Jack loves a story.
All right.
All the best from down south. No doubt we'll be joining you for a lockdown soon. From Sam. P.S. Please tell Tom that his optimistic attitude and upbeat outlook is something I've been trying to adopt and has done wonders for my mental health. He's nothing short of a legend. You're all terrific lads and have done more for my sanity over this year than I could ever repay you for. Much love to you all. So before we move on to anything else, yes, thank you very much for the love to us, and especially to Tom and his outlook on PMA and optimism, because God knows we need a lot of it right now, and Tom is actually genuine about it. So thank you very much for that. But never mind the optimism and stuff. That was a hellacious story, by the way.
I'm sorry for doubting the story. I feel like I was quite aggressive with my doubting.
Yeah, almost as aggressive as that kid.
I'm sure it happened. I was the kid. He's telling this. I was trying to. My voice isn't working, lads. I don't know what's happened there.
Naughtiest kid.
Thanks for saving me there.
Naughtiest child at school. Mine was I can't use his real name, can I? Billy Butlin's, and he was really, really Billy Butlin. That was the founder of Butlin. I don't know where I've gone with that. And one time, like between lessons, he grabbed a whole ream, 500 sheets of A4 paper. On the top floor, it's the English block. So he was up there like 3 or 4 stories up. And he threw the whole lot out and started shouting, "It's snowing! It's snowing! Sleigh bells ring! Are you listening?" Shouting this out the window as it put like, and it all like disperses and covers everybody and everything in sight in white. And then all of a sudden, as he's halfway there, he's like, "In the lane, snow is glistening." You just see him get like yanked away by a teacher. They slam the door and give him the biggest bollocking ever. He did loads of stuff. Like after that, he 2 or 3 days later, he pulled the fire alarm as well. And his reason for doing it was he said that he wanted to get everyone's attention so he could apologise for the A4 paper incident.
Do you go to school at the Beano? Because that's very imaginative stuff. Like, that's
It was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, that is good. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what he's doing now. I'm not friends with him on
Were you
Facebook.
friends with him?
I was on good terms with him, so he didn't beat me up.
He wasn't the Australian lad who slagged off your clothes, was he?
Nah, screw him. I don't want to
Good,
talk
yeah,
about him.
good.
Dickhead.
Yeah,
Good.
he wasn't a Travis fan. I had there's 2, both in the place down south where Stammy Charlotte, and then in northeast. They both had the name James, which is weird. But the one down south did one of the funniest things I can remember, and I'd forgotten all about it until you just said that. He was one of these really dry-humoured, funny but very nasty kids. And I forgot about how much this stuck with us for so long. So after, I don't know how school works nowadays, but when we were there, there'd be a bell to signal that was the end of the lesson. And this guy had been having such a miserable lesson, he just wasn't into it and hated the fact the teacher was giving him work to do and all this, tell him off, that when the bell rang, the signal end, he went, "Yay!" Like that. The teacher kept him back and he was like, "Oh, no." Can't argue it. And I thought that was just great comic timing. And the other lad, I met him years later and he looked a bit, he was having a good time, shall we say. Tell by his face.
Whoa. What do you mean? He looked a bit, he was having a good time.
I'll get to it, but I went, "Yeah, all right." And he went, "All right, don't know you, pal." Like, I went, like, very, like, almost like getting in a position to, like, I'm out to smack this lad. I went, "No, it's me, mate, from school, King James." And he went, "Scared?" I went, "Mate, I was not only your form, but it was in English every bloody day." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, I think yeah. Sorry, pal, I was on drugs pretty much every day of school." And I went, "Oh, were you?" And I went, without thinking, this is obviously the type of person I am, I went, "Oh, that explains a lot. I thought you were just thick."
That's such a Maffew comment as well.
We did think he was. He was like, he was walking through Treacle most of the day. And I was like, "Oh, good, thank God it was drugs." It's almost a relief to hear that. Anyway,
Walking through Treacle.
Yeah, and then I last saw him 8 months later. Oh, God, months later in Darlington. Again, this is like months later when it happened, not 2020, but months later in Darlington, I'm waiting for a bus. Him and his mate were chasing some guy down the street and just battered the life out of him until the police showed up. And I was like, almost like trying to tell people on the bus, "Oh, I know him." The police have put him in the back of the car. "Oh, he's my mate."
What? Why would you say that? Maffew once had been out for my birthday with a big group and then put a Facebook status up detailing the funniest bits of the night out. And one of the funny bits was everyone pretending to have a good time for my birthday. And I was like, well, why the hell has Maffew said that then? I was like, Jesus. Everyone pretending to enjoy the night out for Jack, who genuinely was having a good time.
Did he tag you?
Yeah, I think he might have done.
We were Facebook friends.
And I was like...
But that is true.
And I was
objection,
like... No,
objection.
I thought everyone was having a good time, Maffew. I thought everyone was having a good time.
That is true. It was rubbish,
true.
Jack. Happy birthday, you dick.
Thank you, yeah. Like, Pacitti was there, like, for starters.
Yeah, you were, yeah. It was years ago
Yeah.
now. Yeah. Yeah, it was 2017, I want to say.
Well, here's a hint. It was to celebrate the inception of the show that we're doing a podcast for.
Yeah, it was around the formation of Cultaholic. It was 2017.
Yeah. We went out because it was your birthday
Good
one
times.
place. Yeah, and you could tell the people we were with weren't into it because they didn't
What's
sing.
he on about here?
Because
What is he
90%
saying?
of them didn't sing to any song. Not one song.
I remember this night, and that was one of the best nights of my life, actually.
No,
I really enjoyed that.
I honestly thought...
When they played All American Rejects, I was up there
100%.
dancing. And
Right. I honestly thought, 100% that if I brought this story up, Maffew was going to go, oh yeah, that was really harsh, why have I said that? And instead he's doubled down. He's doubled down on it and said, it was a crap night, Jack. Your birthday was rubbish.
Oh no, I loved it, but the people who were with it, it's funny to me.
No,
if I'm going to go on a night out, I'm going to have a good
That it was a
time.
bad night out. This is
No, I had a
ridiculous.
lovely
This is
time. They
ridiculous.
didn't.
Birthday gate. They being my friends who I've invited to my birthday, who I
Yeah.
thought were having a good time.
They don't talk to you anymore for a reason.
The people I'm still friends with, that's worse. I'm living this lie. I thought I was popular. Birthday gate. Oh my word.
Birthday cake.
If anyone wants to carry on this discussion on Twitter, tag me and Maffew with the hashtag birthday gate and we'll carry this forward.
No one cares about birthday gate. They're still on masturbation gate from 10 minutes ago. So, what's the baddest lad that you knew at school?
Lee.
Lay.
Oh,
he's gone.
He's
the
good, isn't
best time in Lay.
Jack, your timing gets better every week, mate.
It was
You know what? On behalf of that, I changed my mind. It was a fantastic party. Everyone had a great time. This forgot all the lyrics of the songs that night.
just cut out there, everyone. Sorry, podcast listeners. Mine was a boy called Lee. He just used to bite people and then moved schools. No, this was when we were really young. This was like year 1, year 2. And then he left school after a while and I never heard from or saw him again. So that's mine. It's not very interesting though. But I've taken up enough time talking about birthday gate anyway. So mine was Lee.
Oh, God.
Good guy. I went to his birthday. He's really fun, lovely.
Oh, what a great time. Man.
Everyone pretending to have a good night.
I don't think I pretended to have a good night because I think I went home early.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have minded because you do that sometimes.
Yeah.
And then there's no deception involved.
I don't remember the night, if I'm honest.
That's
I'm
fine,
sure
that's
it was. I'm
fine.
sure it was
That's
fun.
fine,
I'm sure
that's
it was
fine.
fun.
I remember.
You're a fun guy.
Again, it wasn't anything to do with you. It was the fact. Actually, I've got a good save here. They were being pestered by
say that,
people.
Yeah,
They were being pestered all night by people.
It was like, because we just left What Culture, hype was like high. So a lot of people were coming over. But I was off my tits. I was so drunk.
Yeah.
Because it was my birthday. And yet, no one else. I can just imagine everyone stood silently and me just like, yeah, what a night. Devastating.
See, that's why life's so great, because I remember it being me and Jack singing along to all these great songs, Rise, in the good bit we're supposed to sing along.
Yeah.
And all the people that you could tell, if they had to go on a night out, they wouldn't have picked Rise. Oh no, it's just, I'm digging myself here. This is actually me trying to save myself here.
Is it really?
Oh, no.
It can't be you saying
Oh
this.
no, this has
Saving
been...
yourself.
This has
Making
actually
it
been
infinitely worse.
Yeah, I'm making this terrible, aren't I? I'm doing a horrible job here. This is horrible for my self-image as a nice-ish person.
I remember reading it the next day and being like, oh.
Oh no.
Thought people were having a... What do you mean? Why are you surprised that I read that and thought...
Yeah, you're right. That is a dick thing. Sometimes I don't want to see this. No, you're right, Jack. That's a horrible thing to do for somebody's birthday.
No, it's made for a funny podcast story, at least.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad. It's made for a funny... Oh no,
cry.
I was trying to make you feel bad. I feel bad
It
now.
worked.
Your birthday this year was really good because we did the podcast and then that was it. And it was I had a really nice day.
Oh god.
Wow, that was definitely the letters section here at the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast. Some wrestling, not much of it. Lots of bad lads, lots of knobs, lots of sexy robots, and lots of awkward memories on Facebook. If you have anything of those to share, or talk about, or bring up next time, God help us all, please, please, please send them to mailbag@cultaholic.com. P.S. I love you, Jack. It was a great time on it.
Oh mate, it's all right. Don't worry.
Now it's time for Reese's Pieces. Hello guys, I've been a big fan since the Name Redacted days and would like to thank you for providing laughter, insight and British culture references that I understand just about 9% of. It's fair enough.
Thank you.
This Reese's Pieces comes from how I've often discussed with my friends which wrestler comes to mind when pitching a championship belt. However, since I'm sure you guys have done that before, I'm putting a twist on it. The following list is some basic wrestling moves and some unique ones. I would like to know which wrestler comes to mind first when thinking of the move. Sending hugs and love your way, especially for Adam and Maffew. Not so much for Jack after he stole my Milky Bar and harassed the store manager at Tesco on Clayton Street. God, that's going back a bit.
Oh, yeah.
Enjoy Elliot from Sweden. That was on your birthday.
Thank you, Elliot.
Cheers, Al.
Reese's Pieces list, and we'll go Pacitti, Maffew, Jack, just be a bit different.
Okay.
Fastest thought first. Powerbomb.
Sid.
Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash.
Dropkick.
Hardcore Holly.
Oh, yeah, hardcore Holly as well.
Hell of a dropkick.
Yep.
Randy Orton for me.
Brilliant dropkick as well.
Spear.
Oh, my mind went to Edge, but his is the worst spear ever. Yeah, well, Edge popped into my head, so I got to say it.
Billy Goldberg.
Yeah, mine was Goldberg as well.
Moonsault.
S.A. Rios.
I was same here.
Seriously?
Yeah. How's that happened there?
His finisher on
That's the biggest.
SmackDown 2, wasn't it? Was it his finisher? It was he could certainly do one. He could
That's
certainly
crazy.
do
He
one.
could-
That
he
is
can
nuts
do
that we
one.
all had S.A. Rios.
I'll go for Kurt Angle then, because he's got the most beautiful moonsault.
Yeah, it's lovely, like a swan.
Misses
Cody's
it all
got a
the
nice one as well.
time. Bit crooked, but yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about his moonsault, sorry.
Chop.
Shop.
No, Chop. I was just trying not to laugh.
Oh, Flair. Flair. Rick Flair.
Oh, thank you for clarifying which Flair. Ric Flair.
Well, my mind first went to Pentagon because I think it was that match last night, so Pentagon.
We can say shop if you want.
Shop.
Mix it up.
Who comes to mind when I don't think there is one.
Not like a who, an actual... Oh, whatever then. So much for that. Uppercut.
Uppercut. Oh, no. Genuine. Oh, Regal, probably. Oh, Cesaro. Ooh, Regal.
Oh, he's
I'm going to
taken
say...
mine.
Sorry. I was a dick there. That was a dick move.
Oh.
Crap birthday.
Oh, no. Suplex.
Cat angle.
I'll do... No, wait.
Oh, sorry.
For uppercut, I'll do HT Drake because he hit me with one once in the car park. Yes.
Did he?
Oh, that's nice.
To
Where's
show
he
me how
hit? The chest?
No, it felt like I was being shoved back. Like, it didn't hurt, but it didn't hurt, but there was power behind it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool. So suplex, what did you say? You said Kurt Angle?
Yeah.
Taz.
Taz as well.
The German suplex.
Benoit.
Yeah.
Kurt and his 3 suplexes.
Unfortunately, mine is also Benoit.
Elbow drop.
Savage.
Sean came to mind first.
Tope con hello.
Nobody. Who does it?
Everyone.
Yeah.
Just nobody. No, I literally.
No,
Is it tope when you've grabbed the rope and you launch, you vault over? Or can you jump, just clean over it and do a flip?
I always thought they were over the ropes.
I had it in my head that it was the grab on and then launch yourself over.
I thought that was the tope part, yeah. But maybe it's not.
Well, Excalibur's always called one's going over that, so I'll defer to him and blame him if I'm wrong. I'll say Ray Phoenix.
Yeah, I will as well then.
Yeah, if you
Here we
want.
go. We watch wrestling every week. Spinebuster.
Steiner. Which it shouldn't be. It's Arn, isn't it? But for some reason, Steiner popped into my head there.
Farouk.
Yeah, mine was Farouk as well because he was the
He had
first wrestler I knew that did a spine buster.
And he just spiked them as well.
Oh,
So good.
the Rock.
Oh, yeah, it's cool.
The Rock.
The Pile Driver.
Lawler.
Mankind's pull-up one. Good
Oh,
one.
nice.
I went Foley as well. This is a dreadful run of form.
It's almost like we have the same upbringing. Super Kick.
HBK.
Matt Buck.
Shawn Michaels.
Oh, okay. I think I'll go with you.
Matt Buck.
And that was it. Wow, that's actually very brief.
that was really
Reese's
quick.
Pieces. Thank you. They don't always have to be, the Iliad. So thank you very much for sending your Reese's
He's having
Pieces.
a go. Thanks for sending in your feedback, guys. Cheers for
Yes.
giving us some content.
Yes, thank you very much. And you
Keep
can
it
send
short.
your Reese's, short and sweet, just like, I can't say Jack, he's taller than me, but I'm not sweet either. Never mind, just keep it short. Mailbag, alcoholic.com.
It's Cultaholics.
Wow, what a long, drawn-out and tedious podcast. And there's still just more to go. The big question this week, it's on everybody's lips, we know, when is Ross coming back? And the answer to that is... next week.
That's
Yes.
right.
Hey.
So he's returning on Monday with Hell in a Cell WTF, which is going to premiere on YouTube in the evening, and then he'll be back with weekly WTF. We got Tears coming back, obviously, and he'll be back on the podcast, so you don't have to listen to my bollocks anymore.
It's been good. I've enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
But, Ross brings a different dynamic. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Well, I'm more than happy with that. I think the podcast has always been you guys. It's a you thing. So thanks for accepting me, and thanks for not slagging me off too much in the comments.
No, all the comments I've seen for this, the feedback I've got on Twitch or on Twitter has been, thank you, I like the really long podcasts.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have you to thank for that, because yours... Oh, am I cutting off?
Nope.
No, you're grand.
Sorry, I'm back. And we have you to thank for that, because you could probably tell a story about anything and make it sound both convincing and entertaining. So thank you for that.
Are you talking about him or about me with my Hall of Fame stuff? Like, why is he getting all the credit here?
You said
your stuff's
convincing,
based on...
like I'd make it up as well.
But you could, that's the thing. You're a scary person, Adam.
I think he's confused what he was going to say about me with you. This has been a horrendous podcast for me.
No, Jack, your stories are good, but they're usually based on real life.
Did you hear my story earlier?
I did. It was amazing.
That was a joke, though. It wasn't really a story.
Yeah, but convincing applies to that.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Your stories are based on things that have happened to you because you've had an interesting life. Pacitti is just naturally
they're
gifted
not.
in the ability to talk complete bollocks and tell you
You're
what
mixing
happened.
totally up what's happened here.
Yeah, I've had the really interesting life, actually. Jack's been rubbish.
Yeah.
Did you go to his party?
But birthday party was rubbish.
No, cheers for... Yeah, I know it's not been the same for a long time. But, yeah, I appreciate everybody being nice and not tearing me apart. Because it's tough,
man.
isn't it?
Thanks for coming on.
No, not at all. See you later. Thank the Lord that I don't have to do these anymore. Watching all the wrestling, I got no time for it. Got invoices to pay.
Yeah. It's great. 20 minutes spent talking about wrestling and then the other 2.5 hours about, freaking everything else, including this week's big question. What is your dream Hell in a Cell match? So, given that it's your last one for a while, Pacitti, we'll start off with you.
Mine was Austin Vince. Because the last match that we got, what was it? King of the Ring 99 with the briefcase going up. It wasn't a singles match, it was Vince and Shane versus Austin, but that was like the end of their matches together. And then you've got it was not that it was it wasn't a great ending, let's be honest, to the most heated rivalry in WWE history. It just so personal. It's one that was completely befitting of Hell in a Cell, and it could be an absolute brawl in the cell. You could have interference from Shane, Trips, Stooges, whatever. It could be an absolute mess with them trying to break in, and Vince, like it would be fantastic, and it would have been a really satisfying end to the feud, because I don't think we did get a truly satisfying end to the feud between the two. Obviously, they worked together and like they aligned and all that. But as far as that feud, the raising of the briefcase thing was a bit of a damp squib. Squib? Squid.
Squib.
No, I always thought it was
What does that
squid,
mean?
yeah.
What does squib mean?
It's a little firework.
Oh, right. Interesting.
Oh,
Damp squib.
so it is squib.
Yeah. I think so.
That
I think
makes
it is.
sense, 'cause
It's
it goes-
squib.
Like,
Yeah.
Jack's birthday party was a bit of a damp squib.
More than just sodden.
Yeah.
Squib.
It's a catastrophe.
Yeah, but if Pacitti told it, everyone would believe that was a great party.
Yeah.
It was.
Anyway, what's your on fire and well lit squib of a Hell in a Cell match, Jack?
I'm going to go I'm going to cheat a bit and go a bit broader, just sort of, because it's not WWE, but just Cage in general. I'm going to go for Magnum TA versus Ric Flair, because that's the big match that never happened. Because obviously, if people don't know, Magnum TA was kind of being built as like the next big hero, wasn't he, of like Mid-Atlantic and the NWA and stuff. And then he had that legendary feud with Tully Blanchard, and then the car crash happened and it ended his career. And I always wonder, because if you go back and watch Magnum TA's stuff, He was so authentic. He was like the Austin or he could have been like the Austin of the NWA. He was so good. And he was so good with a great heel like Tully. And I think if he'd gone up against Flair as well, it would have been absolutely fantastic. So that's mine. More just a case of what could have been rather than like any sort of personal bias. I just think it would be nice to see what happened.
Interesting one. Have you been watching old NWA?
Been doing a bit of just a bit of Magnum TA stuff because it's like he was really, really good. Like very good.
I was expecting that. Belly to belly.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with almost as far back as that. To 2013, setting the scene, CM Punk is defending the title against, I think it was Cena, but then Cena can't do it for some reason. So Ryback, the undefeated Ryback, getting mega push, the biggest push of his career, happens. Hell in a Cell, wow. They can't mess this up, can they? And they did. I want that. The dream match is Ryback pinning CM Punk at Hell in a Cell.
Ooh.
Because amazed. Okay, the first match they had, it's a weird finish with that special referee who's never seen again and hasn't been seen since. And all right, let's just build up to something. Yeah. And then nothing really came of it. They had a rematch next year that was based around Heyman and blah, 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 and it's never really happened. That was a big squib. And really, it was so easy. It was unmessable, but they still found a way. So, Ryback, I will always argue this. No one's bringing it up, of course. I'll argue with myself. Ryback should have pinned CM Punk for that thing and would have been a main star there that they could have had a run with. They didn't, and he just kind of faded away.
That's
Shame.
a fair one.
So,
yeah,
I think that's really good.
One.
Yeah. He was over. He was really over. People like to pretend he wasn't, but he was over as hell, Ryback.
Thank you, Adam.
2013, was it?
I think so. I'm doubting
Yeah, he was
now.
around that time. He was. He was really over. Yeah.
People loved him.
They did. In the same way that people love Madam Pacitti, who has done such an amazing job as the assistant teacher filling in while the
Thanks
other
for having
teacher's
me.
done whatever.
Cheers, Adam.
Yes.
No
And
worries.
also, what have you got on for us this weekend?
What have I got on? So I've got the Impact reactions live on Saturday night. A reminder, if you want to get $10 worth of free fight credit, you can go to cultaholic.com/impact. And then on Sunday, live Hell in a Cell reactions. It's me versus Sam on this one. The predictions go live Saturday evening. The winner is the new Cultaholic heavyweight champion. The loser is going to be locked in a cell, aka the office next door, because nobody's using it at the moment, with something very smelly.
Spoilers, it's not a rolling, moulding puppet jack. It will be various...
Oh, is he there?
Good as new. He's good as new. There he is on the floor. You love seeing him, don't you?
I do, yay! No, don't be weird. Yay, yeah. Oh. All right, and also, but who will still be here next week? Because where would we be without him? The foundation of the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast, my friend and yours, his podcasts are just like his birthdays. They're amazing. Everyone stays till the very end. Jack the Jobber, what have you got for us this weekend?
It's just hollow words at this point. I've got what happened at Hell in a Cell straight after the show, and I can't think of anything else really. All the usual wrestlers of the week and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's what I got.
Awesome.
What about you, Maffew?
The glue of the podcast, as people keep on telling me on Twitter. I think you can't get too close to it or you get a headache. I will be doing the stream on thank you, on Cultaholic's Twitch channel. And I got a pop out of Pacitti, didn't get a pop from this time, that's fine. They
You said streaming channel last time.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you just used the right word there.
Oh, I see, right. And I'll be 6 p.m. Saturday. Hopefully there'll be no pizza delivery people knocking on my window wondering to know where the other flat is. That was fantastic.
Has that happened?
Last time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he would have had to have walked past the entrance that had all the numbers on to walk around all the way around and knock them off there. Hopefully that won't happen, but it will be a Saturday and anything can happen here at Cultaholic. Like, I don't know, people can go to patreon.com/Cultaholic and vote for any of the fantastic 3 picks we have for the Hall of Fame. And even crazier than that, they can send in any of the crazy, absurd questions that hopefully won't be addressed to Adam now if we get them for Ross next week. At mailbag@cultaholic.com. They can do anything they like. And they can also... Anything. They can even, by God, put their hands up to the webcam like this On a count of 3, would you believe it? They could even say 1, 2, 3. Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
And that'll be the end of the show.